Seeing money as a seed. Have you ever thought about money as something more than just paper and numbers? What if it's not only for buying things, but for growing them? Rich people often see money this way, like a tiny seed. When you hold a small seed in your hand, it doesn't look like much. It can't buy you anything. But that seed holds so much promise. If you plant it in good soil, give it water and sunlight, and care for it, that tiny seed can grow into a strong tree, a beautiful flower, or a field of food. For a very long time, people have understood this idea of sowing and reaping. Farmers plant seeds, not to eat them all right away, but so they can grow a bigger harvest later. Ancient thinkers also talked about how you invest a little now to gain a lot in the future. It's like putting effort into a friendship. You don't just take, you give your time, your kindness, your listening ear. You plant those seeds of connection, and that friendship grows strong and supportive. And that's how rich people often look at their money. They don't just spend every dollar. Instead, they look for places to plant it. They might put it into a business, or invest in something that helps solve a problem, or even give it to a cause they believe in. They aren't just giving money away. They're trying to grow something bigger and more impactful. It's about patience. A seed doesn't sprout overnight. It takes time, care, and the right conditions. Money, when seen as a seed, isn't just about how much you have right now. It's about what you help create tomorrow. It's about the future possibilities, the quiet, steady growth that can come from a careful beginning. When you see money as a seed, it changes from a simple tool into something that can truly help things blossom in the world. Thinking about tomorrow. Today, have you ever paused to truly think about tomorrow, even while living fully in today? It's a quiet whisper, isn't it? A feeling that stretches beyond the now into what could be. For many people who achieve great things, this isn't just a random thought. It's a core way they approach life. They understand that today's choices are like brushstrokes on the canvas of tomorrow. It's not just about what they earn or do right now, but what they are carefully building for later on. This deep mindset means seeing every small action, every quiet decision, as tiny seeds planted for a future forest. They know that a strong future isn't just hoped for. It's grown, little by little, from the ground of today. Think about the ancient builders, like those who constructed grand cathedrals that took hundreds of years to finish. They knew their work wouldn't be completed in their own lifetime. They laid stones, knowing the next generation would add to them, and the one after, that their vision went far beyond their own eyes. Or wise philosophers, centuries ago, who often spoke of tending to one's inner garden. They meant cultivating good habits and strong thoughts, not just for today's peace, but for a whole life of rich, steady growth and lasting happiness. It's a lot like saving water, but in a smart way. Imagine you have a small glass of water today, and you could drink it all at once. Or you could pour just a tiny bit of it into a much larger container every single day. Slowly, steadily, over weeks and months, that large container fills up. You might barely notice the small amount you gave up each day, but the future you would suddenly have a huge, valuable reserve ready when needed. This isn't about scarcity. It's about smart growth. This deep way of thinking reminds us that every small choice, every quiet effort we make today truly adds up. It's like a gentle river, slowly, persistently carving a new, beautiful path across the land. Your actions today aren't just for this one moment. They are drawing the clear map for where you will go next, for the person you will become. And that's why it matters. You have the incredible power to shape your own distant horizon, one thoughtful, deliberate step at a time. Learning from every stumble. Have you ever stumbled, felt that ache of getting something wrong? We all have. For most, a mistake feels like a deep failure, a sign to stop. But here's the truth. People who achieve great things, even great wealth, see mistakes differently. They don't see a closed door. Instead, they see an important step on their path, a guidepost in learning. For thousands of years, wisdom has bloomed from bumps. Ancient thinkers, like the Stoics, believed difficulties, even errors, were chances to grow stronger, like a tree rooting deeper in a storm. They taught you couldn't learn without challenges. Think of a sculptor. They make many cuts. Each one, even if it seems a mistake, helps shape the final art. It shows what lines to keep. Imagine learning a new skateboard trick. You fall a lot. Maybe you scrape your knee. It hurts. You could quit, letting the pain win. Or you could pause and ask why you fell. Was your foot wrong? Did you lean too much? Each fall, though painful, becomes a direct teacher, showing what not to do next. It whispers the edges of what's possible, helping you find balance. The fall isn't the end, it's a crucial step toward mastering the board. So, the idea isn't to never mess up, but to get good at listening to our stumbles. See each misstep not as a heavy burden, but as a quiet, patient teacher. It points to a better way forward, a clearer direction. This means changing how we feel about errors, from fearing them to embracing them with a curious heart. That gentle shift can truly open new paths for all of us. Looking for wins in challenges. Have you ever felt that sinking feeling when something really hard comes your way? Like a giant, unmovable wall just appeared in your path. It's natural to feel that way. But here's the thing. Some people, especially those who tend to do well in life, see these moments differently. They don't just see a wall. They look for a hidden door, a new path, or even a chance to build a ladder right over it. They call it looking for wins in challenges. It means when something goes wrong or seems impossible, you don't just give up or focus on the negative. Instead, you ask, what can I learn here? What new skill can I get? How can this make me stronger? It's not about being fake, happy about problems, but about finding a tiny spark of possibility within them. Think about ancient philosophers, like the Stoics, who lived thousands of years ago. They didn't have cars or phones, but they knew about human struggle. They believed that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can always control how you react to it. For them, every tough moment was a chance to practice patience, courage, or wisdom. It was like a workout for their mind, making them more resilient. Consider a simple example from your own life. Like if your favorite video game suddenly deletes all your progress. Most of us would be super frustrated, right? But what if, instead of just being mad, you thought, okay, this means I get to play through it again, and maybe I'll try a different strategy this time, or find secrets I missed before. It changes the whole experience from a loss into a new opportunity. You're not just replaying, you're re-experiencing with new knowledge. So, the next time you face something difficult, a tough assignment, a disappointment, or a big obstacle, pause for a moment. Instead of just seeing the challenge, try to find a small win within it. Maybe it's a new way of thinking, a hidden strength you discover, or simply learning what doesn't work so you can find what does. This quiet search for opportunity, even in the hard times, can slowly, gently reshape your outlook on everything. It's like finding a small, shiny pebble in the deepest part of a dark stream. It's always there, waiting to be seen, not waiting for permission. Have you ever felt like you're just waiting for the bell, waiting for a friend to text back, waiting for someone to tell you what to do next? Here's the thing about rich people, and not just rich in money, but rich in spirit and in life. They often don't wait for permission. They don't sit still, hoping someone will give them a green light. They create their own green light. It's not about being rude or breaking rules. It's about a deep, quiet understanding that the world doesn't always hand out invitations. Sometimes, you have to RSVP to your own life. You just show up. Think about ancient explorers sailing into the unknown. No king or queen gave them a map for what wasn't there yet. They just felt that pull, that question in their heart, and they pushed offshore. Or think about a writer who starts a story without anyone asking. They just have a tale to tell. This isn't about grand gestures. It's about a small, inner spark. Imagine a sapling, a tiny tree just starting its life. It doesn't wait for a farmer to tell it to grow, or for the sun to give it special permission to unfurl its leaves. It just reaches, quietly, steadily, towards the light. It takes what it needs from the earth and the air, and it pushes upward, because that's its nature. It doesn't ask, it just is. This way of thinking is a quiet strength. It's the feeling of knowing your own heart, and trusting it enough to take a single step, even when no one else is watching. It's about building your own path, brick by brick, not waiting for a grand highway to appear. It's about realizing that your journey belongs to you, and the best time to start is now. And that's why it matters, because every amazing thing in the world started with someone simply deciding to begin. Building a network of friends. Have you ever stopped to think about why some people seem to have so many strong connections, so many helpful friends around them? It's not just about being popular. It's a deeper idea, a way of thinking that rich people often share, the power of building a network. Here's the thing, a network of friends isn't just a list of names. It's like a living, breathing web of support. ideas, and shared goals. These are friends who lift you up when you're down, celebrate your wins, and offer fresh perspectives. They are people you trust, and who trust you back. Think way back to ancient times, even before big cities. Humans have always relied on each other to survive and thrive. A lone person in the wilderness had little chance, but a community, working together, hunting, gathering, building, they could do amazing things. The old philosophers talked about how true friendship means helping each other grow, not just having fun, and that's why it matters today. Imagine a tall, strong tree standing in a forest. It looks like it's doing great on its own, reaching for the sky. But look closer. Underground, its roots are connected to other trees, sharing water and nutrients. When a big storm comes, the trees lean on each other, their root systems intertwining, making them stronger together. One tree might send nutrients to another. That's struggling. That's what a human network can be like. It's not just about what others can do for you. It's also about what you can give. You share your ideas, your time, your kindness. When you help someone, you are strengthening that connection. And when you need help, that strong connection is there for you. This kind of friendship isn't about money or who has the most stuff. It's about valuing people and genuine connection. It's about seeing that our journeys are often better and more meaningful when we walk them with others. Building a network of friends is a quiet understanding that our lives are truly richer when we are deeply connected. It's a treasure that lasts longer than anything you can buy. Making every hour count. Have you ever noticed how time seems to just go? 1 minute it's morning, and then suddenly, the day is over. It's easy for our hours to slip by without us really thinking about them. But here's one way rich people often think differently. They see every hour not just as a part of a day, but as something incredibly valuable, like a gift. They don't just spend time, they tend to invest it. They think about what each hour can do for them, what it can build, what it can become. This idea isn't new. Think about old thinkers, like Seneca, a Roman philosopher from long ago. He didn't have a fancy smartwatch, but he talked about how we often waste our most precious possession, time itself. He saw time as something we borrow, and we should pay close attention to how we use it. Or consider Benjamin Franklin, one of America's founders. He famously said, "Time is money." For him, every moment spent not doing something useful was like letting a coin fall out of your pocket. It's not just about earning money, though. It's about recognizing that time is limited. It runs out, and once an hour is gone, it's truly gone forever. Imagine you're playing your favorite video game. You're trying to level up, or maybe find rare items. Every minute you play, you're making choices about how to use that time in the game. Do you explore? Do you fight a difficult boss? Do you spend time gathering resources? The players who do really well, they don't just wander around. They have a plan for their playtime. They know what they want to achieve, and they focus their efforts. They treat each game session, each hour, like a mission. It's not about being stressed. It's about being intentional with your time. So, what if we looked at our own days, our own hours, like that? Not with pressure, but with a quiet sense of purpose. Maybe it's about choosing to spend an hour learning something new, or creating something, or helping someone. Maybe it's about simply being present, truly there, in whatever you're doing. Whether it's homework or just talking with a friend, it's a quiet understanding that each tick of the clock holds a piece of our life, and how we choose to fill it shapes who we become, one precious hour at a time. Giving back to grow more. Have you ever wondered how a river keeps flowing, even after it pours its water into the vast ocean? It gives so much away, yet it never runs dry. This idea holds a deep secret for how some rich people think about growing their wealth. It might sound strange, but many people who build true wealth don't just focus on getting more. They also think about giving, not as a loss, but as a way to make things grow. It's like planting a seed. You give it to the earth, not keep it. From that giving, a whole field of new life can appear. For thousands of years, across different cultures, people understood this. Ancient wisdom, like reciprocity, taught that when you give, it often creates a pathway for good things to return. Generosity builds connections, trust, and a stronger community. It helps create a bigger pie for everyone, not just taking a small slice. Think about this. Imagine you're studying for a test, and you help a friend understand a tricky math problem. You share your knowledge. You might think that takes away from your time, but here's the thing. Your understanding gets stronger when you teach it. and your friend feels supported, building a stronger friendship. Maybe later, they help you too. That shared energy, that knowledge, it grows, it doesn't disappear. So, giving isn't just about charity or being nice. It's a powerful way to expand what you have, inside and out. It's a way of saying, I believe there is enough, and by sharing we can all have more. This builds a deeper richness, not just about money. It's about connection, purpose, and endless possibility. It helps you see yourself as part of a larger, living system where giving creates new pathways for growth, just like that ever-flowing river. Choosing what you think about. Have you ever stopped to wonder if you truly choose what you think? Or do thoughts just float into your mind, uninvited, like clouds across the sky? Here's the thing, many rich or successful people grasp something deep about this. They believe they have a say in the thoughts they hold. Think of your mind, not just as a place where thoughts happen, but as a garden. You are the gardener. What you plant, what you water, what you pull out, that's what grows. If you let weeds take over, they will. If you carefully tend to beautiful flowers, they will bloom. This isn't a new idea. Ancient thinkers, from old Greece to China, talked about this. They realized that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can choose how we think about it. Imagine you get a challenging assignment at school. Your first thought might be, oh no, I'll never get this done. But here's the problem. If you keep watering that thought, it gets bigger. You might feel defeated before you even start. Or, you could pause. You could choose a different thought. This looks tough, but I'll break it down. I can figure out the first step. This small shift is powerful. It's like deciding to focus on one piece of the puzzle instead of feeling overwhelmed by the whole picture. It's not about pretending things are perfect when they're not. It's about choosing your inner response. It's like the sun, it shines, whether you're inside or out, but you choose whether you step into its warmth or stay in the shade. Your mind is like that. You get to decide which thoughts you invite in and which ones you kindly send on their way. This quiet, personal power to direct your own thoughts is one of the most important choices you make every single day. And that's why it matters. Staying curious about everything. Have you ever stopped to wonder, really wonder, about something small? Like, why does the sky look blue? Or how does a tiny seed grow into a giant tree? For some people, especially those who build truly amazing lives, this feeling of wonder never fades. They don't just learn things to pass a test. They stay curious about everything, all the time. It's about asking why and how, even when others think they already know all the answers. Think about the ancient Greek thinkers, like Socrates. He was famous for saying, the only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. That doesn't mean he was dumb. It means he understood that the more you learn, the more you realize there's still so much more to explore. He taught that questioning, not just memorizing facts, helps you truly understand the world. Here's the thing. This isn't just about big scientific discoveries, it's about daily life too. Imagine seeing a spider web glistening with morning dew. Most people might just walk by, but a curious mind might pause. How did the spider make it so strong? What's the science behind the dew droplets, making it sparkle? This isn't just idle thought. This quiet questioning builds a mental muscle. It helps you see connections others miss, and that's why it matters. This constant wonder, this gentle nudge to know more, it opens up entire worlds inside your mind. It makes life richer, not just with money, but with understanding. It helps you find beauty and meaning in the ordinary, and it keeps your mind sharp, ready to learn and grow. No matter how old you get, it's a quiet journey of discovery that never truly ends. Taking smart chances. Have you ever stood at the edge of something new? A quiet whisper in your mind asking, what if? Life often presents these moments, invitations to step into the unknown. But this isn't about being careless, like closing your eyes and just hoping for the best. It's about taking smart chances. It means taking a moment to think, to understand the path ahead as much as you can. And then, with a gentle sense of courage, choosing to try. Think about the explorers of old, not just sailing blindly, but using maps, stars, and their knowledge of the winds to guide them into uncharted waters. Or consider the artists, like the painters who first dared to move away from perfect realism, choosing instead to express feelings with bold colors and shapes, even when others thought it strange. They weren't just guessing, they were exploring new ways of seeing, new possibilities within their craft. They understood the risks, but they also saw the chance for something beautiful and new to be born. Here's a simpler thought. Imagine you love music, but you've only ever listened to songs you know well. One day, a friend suggests a band you've never heard of, a completely different style. A smart chance here isn't spending all your money on their concert tickets without hearing a single note. It's simply pressing play on one of their songs online. You might not like it at all, and that's okay. But you might also discover a whole new world of sound, a feeling you didn't know music could give you. It's a small, thoughtful step into the new. These moments aren't always grand adventures. Sometimes they are quiet acts, raising your hand to ask a question in class, trying a new sport, or offering a kind word to someone you don't know well. Each smart chance, each thoughtful reach beyond what's comfortable, slowly weaves new colors into the tapestry of your life. It's how we learn, how we grow, and how we find the unexpected joys that make our journey truly ours. It's a gentle bravery that allows your own story to unfold in ways you never imagined. Loving the journey, not just the goal. Have you ever noticed how sometimes, when you're really excited about something, you just want to get to the end? Like when you're working on a big project for school, or saving up for something amazing. It's easy to focus only on that finish line, right? But here's the thing, many successful people understand. The real magic often isn't just in reaching the goal itself. It's in the steps you take, the lessons you learn, and the person you become along the way. It's about finding joy and meaning in the journey, not just the destination. Think about ancient thinkers, like the Stoics in Greece and Rome. They taught that true happiness wasn't found in getting what you want, but in how you face challenges and grow. Or in Eastern philosophies, where the path to wisdom is seen as a lifelong process, not a sudden discovery. They understood that life is a continuous river, not just a series of waterfalls. Imagine you're training for a marathon, even if it's just a neighborhood fun run. Your goal is to cross the finish line, but if all you do is think about that one moment, you might miss out. You'd miss the cool morning air on your practice runs, the feeling of your muscles getting stronger, the friend who runs beside you, or the way your mind clears when you're moving. The journey itself builds your strength, your discipline, and your spirit, much more than the final sprint ever could alone. This way of thinking isn't about ignoring your goals, it's about expanding your view of success. It means seeing beauty in the hard work, valuing the learning in mistakes, and appreciating the small victories each day. Because life isn't just a series of destinations to rush towards, it's a grand adventure, unfolding with every step. And the richest experiences often come from embracing the winding road, not just the view from the peak. It's about feeling truly alive in the process, finding joy in helping others. Have you ever noticed how some people, especially those who have a lot, seem to find their deepest happiness not in getting more, but in giving? It's a curious idea, isn't it? We often think happiness comes from having new things, from reaching a goal for ourselves. But here's the thing, many truly wealthy people feel the greatest joy when they help others. This isn't just about donating money, though that's part of it. It's about a way of thinking, a deep belief that your success isn't just for you. It's meant to be shared. It's about seeing yourself as part of a bigger picture, a community, or even the whole world. When you help someone else, you're not just fixing a problem for them. You're creating a connection. You're building something good that reaches beyond yourself. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, thinkers and philosophers have talked about this. Ancient Greek thinkers like Aristotle believed that true happiness, or eudaimonia, came from living a virtuous life, which included contributing to your community. In many old wisdom traditions, helping others was seen as a path to inner peace and a richer spirit. It wasn't just a nice thing to do, it was essential for a good life. They knew that giving could feel as good, or even better, than receiving. Think about how you feel when you help a classmate with a tough math problem, and they finally understand it. Or maybe you help an elderly neighbor carry their groceries, and they give you a warm smile. That little rush you feel inside, that sense of warmth and rightness, that's a real feeling. In psychology, they even have a name for it, helpers high. It's like your brain releases good chemicals, making you feel uplifted. It's a natural reward system for kindness. It's proof that we are built, in a way, to care for each other. So it's not just about what you gain, but what you can give away. And often, what you give away comes back to you, not as more stuff, but as a deep, quiet happiness that settles in your heart. It's a joy that lasts far longer than the thrill of something new. It shows us that true richness isn't just in the bank account, but in the connections we make and the good we put into the world. Understanding true value, not just price. Have you ever stopped to wonder, what is something really worth? Not just what it costs, but its true meaning, deep down. Here's the thing, rich people often see past the price tag. They look for something deeper than money. Price is what you hand over to get something. Value, though, is what you actually gain from it, what it truly means to you. Think about it this way. Long ago, wise thinkers like the Roman Seneca talked about how true peace of mind, or real happiness, wasn't something you could just buy. You couldn't walk into a store and pick up a calm spirit, even with all the gold in the world. Its value wasn't found in coins, but in how it made you feel, how it shaped your life. Or imagine ancient people. They used salt not just to make food tasty, but to keep it from spoiling, to survive. Its value was so much bigger than its simple cost. Here's an example you might know. Imagine your grandparent knitted you a blanket. The yarn itself might be cheap to buy, but that blanket holds so much more. It has warmth, comfort, and the feeling of their love wrapped right into it. You wouldn't trade it for a brand new, expensive blanket from a store, even if that one cost a lot more money. Why? Because the value of that handmade blanket goes way beyond any price. It's rich with memories and connection. So, the lesson here is simple but powerful. Learning to see this big difference between a price and something's true value changes how you look at the whole world. It teaches you that the things that truly make your life better often have no price at all. They are found in simple kindness, in shared laughter, in the quiet beauty of nature, or in deep, thoughtful moments. And understanding this helps you chase after what truly matters, not just what looks shiny or expensive. It's about building a life rich in meaning, not just in money. Owning your mistakes, then moving on. Have you ever messed up really badly? Like you made a mistake, and suddenly a heavy cloud seemed to follow you around. It's a feeling we all know. That gut punch when you realize you dropped the ball. But here's the thing. Everyone makes mistakes. Rich people, successful people, all people. The difference isn't whether they make errors, but what they do right after. They don't get stuck in the shadow of what went wrong. Instead, they choose to stand in the light, look at the mistake, and own it. Owning it means saying, yes, this was my part. This is what I did, or what I missed. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about being honest with yourself and with others. It's about taking responsibility for the choices you made and the outcomes that followed. For thousands of years, wise thinkers have told us that our biggest teachers are often our failures. Imagine trying to build a tower with building blocks, and it keeps falling over. You don't just stare at the mess. You look at which blocks tipped, how you stacked them, and why it collapsed. You learn from that collapse. Then, you pick up the blocks and start fresh, using what you just learned. Think about a scientist in a lab. Their experiment might not work the first time, or the 10th time. Do they give up? No. They look at the results, figure out what went wrong in the process, and change one small thing. They use that failed experiment as valuable information, a stepping stone to the next attempt. They don't carry the weight of the past failure, but the knowledge it gave them. So, when rich people make a mistake, they don't drown in regret. They see it as information. They learn the lesson, big or small. Then, they let it go. They understand that holding on to guilt or shame just weighs you down, stopping you from moving forward. It's like clearing a path. You remove the fallen branches so you can keep walking. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care enough about your future to not be held back by your past. It's a kind of gentle freedom, allowing yourself to learn and then rise, ready for what comes next. Asking good questions, always. What if the richest treasure isn't something you can touch, but something you can ask? It might sound strange, but for people who build truly rich lives, curiosity is often their greatest guide. It's about looking past the obvious. It's about truly digging deeper into everything around you. Rich thinkers don't just wait for answers. They go searching for them with good questions. They don't just see a problem. They ask, why is it this way? How could it be different? Hundreds of years ago, a wise man named Socrates taught us something amazing. He lived in ancient Greece and spent his time talking to people, asking them question after question. He showed that real wisdom often comes from realizing what you don't know, and the best way to find that out, he believed, was by asking. not just asking others, but asking yourself, too. It's like clearing a fog from your mind, one thoughtful question at a time. This simple act opens up entirely new ways of seeing the world. Imagine you're looking at something familiar, like a spider's web covered in morning dew. Most people just see a pretty sight. But someone who asks good questions might wonder, how does the silk hold the water drops so perfectly? Why does the spider build it there, in that exact spot? What is the purpose of each tiny strand? This isn't just about spiders. It's like when you're trying to figure out how a complicated game works. You don't just stare at it. You ask, what does this button do? Why did that happen? This habit of honest questioning helps you understand, not just how things work, but why they matter. So, here's the thing. Asking good questions is a quiet strength. It's how your mind opens doors, how your spirit grows, finding new paths even when your feet stay still. It helps you understand people, understand science, understand yourself better. That's how you build a life truly rich, not just in things, but in understanding, in wonder, in quiet wisdom. Seeing money as a tool, not a trophy. Have you ever stopped to think about what money really is? We often see it, especially on TV, as just a score. It's easy to believe, the more you have, the more you've won. But what if that idea misses the whole point? What if money isn't meant to be a trophy, something you just look at and admire? Here's the thing, many people who build lasting things see money more like a tool. Think about a craftsman and a chisel. The chisel isn't the point. It isn't for showing off. Its real value comes from what the craftsman can do with it, shaping wood, carving designs, creating something new. The chisel helps bring an idea to life. For centuries, smart thinkers understood this. Ancient philosophers knew true wealth wasn't just piles of gold. It was what that gold allowed you to do. Build a temple, fund a school, help your community. Money, they believed, was a way to make good things happen, an energy for action and purpose. Imagine a scientist in a lab. They need special equipment, microscopes, test tubes. These aren't trophies, they are instruments, tools that let the scientist explore, experiment, and maybe discover a cure. The equipment isn't the discovery, it's what makes it possible. So when we see money, not as a grand prize but as a powerful tool, it changes everything. It's not about how much you gather, but what you build. It's about the ideas you grow, the problems you solve, the help you offer. Money then becomes a quiet force for good, a way to make your dreams and the world's needs meet. It's less about having and more about doing, about the quiet power of creating, believing in what's possible. Have you ever looked at something really difficult, something that seemed impossible, and just thought, no way? Here's the thing, many people, especially those who build amazing things and become wealthy, see that same hard thing and think, what if? What if it is possible? It's not magic. It's a quiet belief that barriers aren't always solid walls. Sometimes they're just fences waiting to be climbed over, or even imagined. Think about history. For hundreds of years, people looked at birds and thought, humans can't fly. It was a fixed idea. But then, people like Leonardo da Vinci sketched flying machines, dreaming of wings. Later, the Wright brothers, with just a bike shop and a wild idea, actually made a plane fly. They didn't just want to fly, they believed it was possible, even when others laughed. That deep belief helped them keep trying. It's like learning to ride a bike without training wheels. At first, it feels impossible, right? You fall, you wobble, but you believe you can do it because you see older kids riding. You keep trying, even though your knees get scraped. Your mind opens to the idea of balance, and then, one day, it clicks. You're riding. This rich mindset isn't always about money. It's about having that same stubborn belief in bigger, harder goals. This kind of thinking helps you see solutions where others only see problems. It's a quiet courage, a deep sense that even the highest mountains have a path to the top. It means holding on to a dream, even when the way is blurry, and trusting that the path will appear if you just keep looking. It's about letting your mind wander past can't and land softly on what if I could. Creating your own opportunities. Have you ever wondered why some people always find a way, even when no clear path exists? It's like they have a secret map, but the truth is, they're drawing it as they go. Creating your own opportunities isn't about luck. It's about a deep, quiet understanding that the world isn't just something that happens to you. It's a canvas where you can paint your own chances. Think about it. Most of us wait for a door to open. We hope someone offers a chance, or that a perfect situation just appears. But rich people, who think differently, often see the world as raw materials. They don't wait for a door, they build one. Or if there's no wood, they find a way around the wall. This way of thinking isn't new. Ancient philosophers, like the Stoics, talked about focusing on what you can control: your actions, your mind, your effort. They knew that even in tough times, your inner power to respond and create remains. Imagine a tiny seed. It doesn't wait for perfect soil. If it lands on a crack in concrete, it pushes. It uses what little water and light it finds, slowly making its own space, its own life. It doesn't complain about the concrete. It works with it, finding a way through. This is what it means to create your own opportunities. You don't wait for the ideal conditions. You use what you have right now and make something new. It's a shift from being a passenger to being the one holding the steering wheel. It's understanding that life doesn't just hand out tickets. Sometimes you have to build the train tracks yourself. And when you do, when you start to see possibilities where others only see limits, a quiet strength grows inside you. It's the feeling of knowing you are not just adrift, but truly capable of shaping your own path, one deliberate step, one brave idea at a time. This feeling, this quiet knowing, is a real treasure. Investing in yourself first. What's the very first thing you should put your energy into? Even before money, even before big plans. Rich people, the ones who truly understand lasting success, often see it this way. The best investment isn't in stocks or fancy houses, it's in you. It means spending time and effort on your own learning, on your skills, on your well-being, your peace of mind. It's like building a strong, solid foundation inside yourself. Before you build anything else on top. Think about old stories, ancient wisdom. Philosophers from long ago, like the Greek thinker Socrates, talked about knowing yourself. They believed that understanding who you are, what you're good at, and what you truly value, was the most important journey. It's an old idea that what you carry inside you matters more than what you carry in your pockets. It's like a farmer preparing the soil carefully before planting any seeds. You make the ground rich first. Imagine a young tree. Before it can grow tall and strong, before it can give shade or fruit, what does it need? It needs deep roots. It needs to pull water and nutrients from the earth. It spends its early years strengthening those roots, even if you can't see them. You are like that tree. Your mind, your body, your spirit. These are your roots. The time you spend reading, learning a new instrument, practicing a sport, even just understanding your own feelings, that's you growing those roots deeper. It's not about instant rewards. It's about building something that will hold you up for a lifetime. And so, this kind of investment, putting yourself first, pays off in ways you can't always count with money. It gives you confidence. It gives you strength when things get tough. It helps you understand the world better. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face challenges and still find joy. It's about becoming truly rich, not just in wealth, but in wisdom and spirit. It helps you become your most capable self. Turning problems into projects. Have you ever looked at a big problem and felt a little stuck, like it's a giant wall in your way? Here's the thing. Many successful people don't see a wall. They see a building project. They think about problems, not as dead ends, but as raw materials for something new. It's like looking at a broken thing and wondering, how can I fix this? Or even better, how can I make something completely different and useful from these pieces? This idea isn't new. Thinkers from long ago, like the ancient Stoics, believed that challenges weren't punishments. They were chances to practice being wise and strong. They saw life's difficulties as opportunities to grow, like a sculptor sees a block of marble. The marble isn't a problem, it's the start of a beautiful statue. Imagine your school project. Maybe it's a big essay, and it feels overwhelming. You could see it as a huge, scary task you just have to get through. Or, you could see it as a series of smaller steps. First, I'll brainstorm. Then, I'll find some sources. Next, I'll write the intro. Each step becomes a mini project, and suddenly, that big scary essay is just a collection of manageable parts. Like a scientist sees a difficult question. It's not an impossible puzzle, but an exciting experiment waiting to be designed. So, what does this mean for us? It means that the next time something feels hard, try to shift your view. Instead of, oh no, a problem, maybe think, A project has arrived. What can I build from this? What can I learn? This way of thinking turns frustration into curiosity. It changes the weight of a burden into the lightness of a creative challenge. It's about seeing the hidden opportunity, the quiet invitation to create and overcome. Getting help when you need it. You know how sometimes you just feel stuck, like you're trying to figure something out, maybe a tough math problem or how to build something cool, but the answer just isn't there in your own head. What happens then? Do you push harder, alone, or do you look around? Here's the thing about many people who find success, who build amazing things, or gather a lot of wealth. They understand a quiet power. It's the power of asking for help. They don't see it as weakness, or as a sign they aren't smart enough. Instead, they see it as a smart move, a fast way to get unstuck. They know that trying to do everything alone can actually slow you down, or even stop you completely. Think about the great thinkers from long ago, like the ancient Greek philosophers. Even they didn't just sit alone in a room. They walked and talked with their students. They argued ideas with other wise people. They built on thoughts that came before them. No one truly invents everything completely alone. Builders, artists, even scientists, they all stand on the shoulders of others who came before, or work together in the present. It's like a long, strong thread connecting us all through time. Imagine your own body. Does your heart try to do everything by itself? No. Your lungs, your brain, your muscles, they all have different jobs, but they work together, relying on each other, to keep you healthy and moving. If one part struggles, the others try to help, and sometimes you need a doctor to step in. It's the same with big projects, big dreams, or even just daily life. You need different skills, different viewpoints. It's a quiet strength, really, to know when you don't know. To be brave enough to say, I need help with this. It's not about being less. It's about becoming more, because when we connect, when we share our questions and our efforts, we find new paths. We discover new ideas. We find new ways to grow, not alone, but together. And that's why it matters. Dreaming big, then planning bigger. Have you ever just gazed at the sky, letting your mind wander to what your life could be? A grand adventure, a quiet happiness, a future where anything feels possible. We all have these dreams, vast and shimmering. But here's a curious thing about many successful people. Their journey doesn't stop with just imagining. They take that huge, beautiful vision and then they begin to map it out. They don't just wish for a destination. They start drawing the route. It's like turning a whisper of possibility into a detailed blueprint. Think about the ancient pyramids. They weren't built on a wish. Someone had a colossal dream. But then, they drew every line, calculated every stone, and imagined every ramp and worker. The old Greek thinkers called the ultimate goal telos. They believed, knowing your telos helped plan the wisest path. It's this powerful dance between a vast dream and careful planning. Imagine you want to build an incredible treehouse in your neighborhood. You see it perfectly in your mind, a secret hideaway, sturdy, with a pulley system. That's your dream. But to make it real, you don't just stare at the trees. You measure, you sketch, you figure out how many planks of wood you need, what tools to borrow. You plan each step, from the first nail to the last painted board. The treehouse starts as a whisper in your imagination, but it rises into the real world because of your thoughtful, measured actions. So, what can we gather from this? It's a quiet truth. True accomplishment isn't just about the size of your dream, it's about the courage to give that dream roots in reality. By laying out every single step, it's about understanding that the journey, carefully planned, is where the magic truly unfolds, turning what feels impossible into something wonderfully real. Knowing when to say no. Have you ever felt a quiet tug inside you, a sense that your energy is precious, like a limited well? Rich people, the ones who build lasting success, truly understand this. They know that saying yes to every request can slowly drain that well dry. It means saying no to their own peace, their deep focus, and the quiet space where great ideas are born. It's not about being unkind or selfish. It's actually a deeply mindful act. Your time and energy are not endless. If you pour them out for everyone and everything, you'll soon find your own cup empty, with nothing left for what matters. This wisdom isn't new. Philosophers from ancient times, like the Stoics, spoke about knowing your own limits. They understood that someone who tries to please everyone will eventually lose their way. Protecting your inner world was key to a calm life. It's about choosing your path with intention, not just drifting. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine your focus is like a single, strong light beam. If you spread that beam out, trying to shine it on too many things, it becomes weak and dim. But when you say no to distractions and scattered demands, you keep that light beam sharp and powerful. It can cut through confusion, showing where you need to go. So, the next time someone asks for your time, or pulls you towards something that doesn't quite feel right, pause for a moment. Feel that quiet tug inside. Ask yourself, does this truly nourish my well? Does this keep my light beam strong? It's a gentle, brave choice, a quiet declaration of self-respect, because when you learn the art of saying no to what doesn't serve you, you open up your energy to say a resounding yes to what truly makes your spirit sing. And that's how a life of deep purpose and calm begins to bloom. Practicing gratitude daily. Have you ever stopped to truly notice the small, quiet wonders around you? Like the way sunlight touches a window just right, or the comfort of a warm blanket on a chilly morning. This act of truly seeing, of feeling thankful for even the simple things, that's what we call practicing gratitude. It's not about grand gestures or big events. It's about slowing down and recognizing the good that's already here, hidden in plain sight. People have thought about this for a very long time, for thousands of years, really. Ancient philosophers, thinkers from old Greece and Rome, often wrote about how much peace could come from appreciating what you have, instead of always wishing for more. They understood that our minds can get caught up in what's missing, or what's next. But pausing to be thankful, even for tiny things, can shift your whole outlook. It's a quiet rebellion against always wanting more. Think of your brain like a garden. If you only focus on the weeds, the worries, the things that go wrong, then your garden can start to feel overgrown and messy. But when you actively look for and water the flowers, the good moments, the kind words, the simple comforts, those flowers begin to bloom more brightly. Psychologists who study the brain say that when you regularly feel gratitude, it actually changes your brain pathways. It makes you more likely to notice positive things, building a stronger sense of happiness and calm, almost like training a muscle. So, it's not just a nice idea, it's a powerful way to shape your inner world. It helps you see that even on difficult days, there are always small flickers of light. When you make it a daily habit to find these sparks, your world doesn't necessarily change. But how you experience it, how you feel within it, definitely does. It helps you feel richer, not in money, but in spirit and peace. Learning from people who inspire you. Have you ever stopped to think about the people you really look up to? Maybe it's an athlete, a musician, a scientist, or even someone in your family. What is it about them that makes you feel a sense of wonder? Here's the thing. We often learn our deepest lessons not just from books, but from watching others. This isn't about trying to copy someone exactly. It's more like quietly observing, trying to understand how they think, why they make the choices they do. For centuries, people have grown by learning from those who came before them. Think about how scientists build on old discoveries, or how philosophers in ancient Greece debated ideas that began with someone else. It's like standing on the shoulders of giants, seeing further because of the view they provide. Imagine you're trying to learn a new skill, like drawing or playing a video game really well. You don't just figure it out alone. You watch someone who's amazing at it. You notice how they hold the pencil, how they blend colors, or how they react in a tricky game situation. You're not trying to become them, but you're picking up on their strategies, their approach, their unique feel for the task. You're learning the unspoken rules of their success. This quiet observation can show you paths you hadn't even imagined. It's about letting their light illuminate the way, not forcing you onto their exact journey. When we learn from inspiring people, we aren't just gathering facts. We're feeling a reflection of what's possible within ourselves, a soft nudge toward our own potential. It's a quiet whisper of possibility, inviting you to explore your own unique way forward. Paying attention to details. Have you ever really stopped to look at something small? Not just a quick glance, but truly see it, like the tiny veins on a leaf. We often rush through our days, seeing the big picture, but we might miss the quiet hum of the world. Here's the thing. Many people who build great lives have a surprising habit. They pay attention to details. It's not just about spotting a typo. It's about truly caring for the small, often hidden, parts that make up the whole dot. Think about this. Ancient philosophers, long before microscopes, often just sat and observed. They watched the stars, or how water flowed. They found deep truths in these tiny movements. It's like an artist who spends hours on one brushstroke. That small detail can change the whole painting. This careful watching is how big ideas begin. And here's a simple example. Imagine building a tall tower out of blocks. If you don't make sure each block is level, even a tiny tilt at the bottom makes the whole tower shaky. It might even fall. But if you pay close attention to each block, making sure it's just right, your tower will be strong and stand tall. Small, careful adjustments create something stable and lasting. So paying attention to details isn't just about being neat, it's about respect. It's about understanding that the world is built from countless tiny pieces. When we learn to really see these details, we don't just understand things better. We start to see the world as richer, more complex, and more beautiful. It's a way of being truly present, of living a fuller life, one small observation at a time. Building strong habits. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to glide through life, reaching their goals with quiet determination, while others struggle? It's not magic, or some grand, hidden secret. Often, it's something simpler, yet profoundly powerful: habits. Here's the thing, a habit is just a small action, repeated until it becomes automatic. Think about tying your shoes in the morning, or reaching for your toothbrush. You don't even plan it. Your body just does it. These simple actions, stitched together day by day, begin to weave the very fabric of who you are. The ancient Greek philosopher, Aristotle, understood this deeply. He once said, "We are what we repeatedly do." He meant that our character isn't formed by one big choice, but by countless small, daily actions. It's like how a vast river carves a deep canyon. It doesn't happen with one sudden flood. Instead, it's the constant, gentle flow of countless water drops, patiently shaping the rock over time. Imagine walking through a wild field of tall, thick grass. The first time, it's a struggle. You push through, your feet stumble. But if you walk that exact same line every day, something wonderful happens. A clear, worn path begins to form. It becomes easier to follow, smoother, almost inviting. That path, in a way, is like a strong habit forming in your mind. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, the less effort it requires, and the more naturally you follow its course. And this is why it truly matters. Many people who achieve great things, those we call rich in spirit and accomplishment, understand this quiet, consistent power. They know significant dreams are not built with one dramatic leap. Instead, they're carefully constructed, brick by tiny brick, day after slow, steady day. Each small choice, even when it feels minor, quietly builds momentum. So, consider the paths you are choosing to walk each day. Are they leading you where you truly wish to go? Building a strong habit isn't about instant perfection or overwhelming effort. It's about a gentle, persistent kindness to yourself. A quiet belief that, little by little, those steady, small actions can grow into something truly remarkable. Like a tiny seed patiently reaching for the sun. Understanding the power of compound growth. Have you ever wondered how something truly small can become something enormous, almost as if by magic? Here's the thing, it isn't magic, but it often feels that way. This idea is called compound growth, a quiet force in our world. Imagine a tiny seed. When you plant it, it doesn't instantly become a towering oak, but with consistent sunlight and water, day after day, that seed slowly pushes out a sprout. Leaves unfurl, gathering more light. Soon, branches stretch, and roots deepen. Each new part helps the next grow even more effectively. The tree grows faster because it has more leaves to capture energy, more roots to draw nourishment. This powerful idea isn't new. People have noticed its effects for centuries, in nature or how communities expand. There's an old famous tale about the invention of chess. The inventor asked for a single grain of rice on the first square, 2 on the second, 4 on the third, and so on, doubling for each new square. At first, it seemed tiny, but by the final squares, the rice needed was truly mind-boggling, more than the world could produce in years. That's compound growth, a humble beginning exploding into something vast over time. Think about learning something new, like playing a musical instrument. If you practice for 5 minutes today, it might not feel like much, but commit to those 5 minutes every single day, and something wonderful happens. Those minutes don't just add up, they multiply. Your fingers get stronger, your brain makes new connections, and your understanding deepens. Each practice session makes the next one a tiny bit easier and more effective, creating a positive cycle. It's not simple addition. It's a quiet, powerful multiplication of effort, and that's why understanding this matters. Life, in many ways, works on this principle. Small, consistent choices, made over and over, don't just add up. They build upon each other, shaping something far bigger than you might have guessed from their small beginnings. This shows us that patience and steady, quiet effort are not just good habits, but mighty forces. It whispers that our smallest, most consistent actions today are truly the seeds for a powerful, unfolding tomorrow. Not blaming others for your path. Have you ever thought about why some people seem to keep moving forward, no matter what, while others feel stuck? There's a powerful idea many successful people understand. They rarely blame others for their path. This doesn't mean bad things don't happen to them. Of course they do. But instead of saying, "It's my teacher's fault," or "My parents held me back," they think, "What can I do about this situation?" It's about seeing yourself as the main character in your own story, not just a sidekick reacting to everyone else. Think about thinkers from long ago, like the ancient Greeks. They talked a lot about focusing on what you can control. They believed true strength came from within, from your own choices and actions, not from wishing the world was different. This isn't about ignoring challenges, it's about how you respond to them. Imagine you're working on a school group project. If it doesn't turn out well, it's easy to say, "My teammates didn't do their part," and maybe they didn't. But what if you looked at your own effort? Did you offer to help? Did you try to lead? When you take responsibility for your part, even a small part, you learn, you grow. That's where true power lies. So this way of thinking isn't about being perfect. It's about understanding that your life, your happiness, your progress, a lot of it rests with you. When you truly accept that, a calm kind of freedom settles in. You realize you have more say in your future than you ever imagined, and that's a powerful feeling. Taking action, even when scared. Have you ever felt that shiver of fear, that flutter in your stomach, right before you had to do something big? Maybe it was stepping onto a stage, or trying out for a team, or even just raising your hand in class. When you weren't sure of the answer, that feeling is so common. It tells you there's a risk, a chance of something going wrong. But here's the thing. Many people who find success, people we might call rich, don't let that fear stop them. They feel it, just like anyone else, but they still move forward. Think about it like this. History is full of people who faced massive fears. Explorers like Columbus, sailing into unknown seas, or thinkers like Galileo, sharing ideas that went against what everyone believed. They didn't wake up without fear. Instead, they understood that fear is often just a feeling, a signal, not a stop sign. The ancient Greek philosophers, wise people from long ago, often talked about courage. For them, courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. It was about facing something difficult because it was important, or right, or simply because it needed doing. And this isn't just about big historical moments. Think about learning to ride a bike. Remember that shaky first moment. You knew you might fall. Your mind probably imagined scraping your knee or tumbling over. That was fear. But you pushed off anyway. You pedaled, you wobbled, and maybe you fell, but you got back on. That taking action even when scared. It's understanding that the fall, the mistake, isn't the end. It's part of learning, part of growing. People who think differently see fear as a guide, not a wall. It points to where growth lies. So, the next time that cold, knot of worry, tightens in your stomach, pause for a moment, feel it, acknowledge it. But then, gently, consider taking that first small step anyway. It's in those moments, where fear whispers loudest, that true strength often awakens, and new paths begin to unfold. Focusing on solutions, not just issues. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to get stuck, just talking about problems over and over? Like, "Oh, this is wrong," or "That's unfair." They might spend a lot of energy describing the issue, but not much on what comes next. Here's the thing. Many successful people, especially those who build wealth, often think differently. They don't just see the mess. They quickly shift their minds to, "Okay, so what can we do about it?" They move past the "what went wrong" and jump straight to, "How can we fix it?" It's like their brains are wired for next step instead of, "This is broken." They see a challenge, then immediately look for a way around, over, or through it. Think about ancient thinkers, like Archimedes, a brilliant mind from long ago. He didn't just stare at a problem like needing to move heavy objects. He thought about how to solve it, leading to ideas about levers and pulleys. The issue was lifting weight. The solution was creating tools to make it easier. Or even a philosopher named Epictetus, who lived a very long time ago. He taught that we should focus on what we can control, instead of getting upset about what we can't. The issue might be something outside your power. The solution is managing your own thoughts and actions. It's a very old way of thinking, but it's powerful. Imagine your bike gets a flat tire. One way to think is, ugh, my tire is flat. This is terrible. Now I can't ride. And you just sit there, feeling annoyed. But another way, the solution-focused way, is to think, okay, my tire is flat. What do I need to fix it? A pump, a patch kit, or do I walk it to the bike shop? You immediately start looking for ways forward, not just dwelling on the inconvenience. This shift in thinking doesn't make the flat tire disappear, but it changes your next action. It turns a roadblock into a puzzle to solve. This isn't about ignoring problems or pretending they don't exist. It's about how quickly you pivot your mind. It's about not letting the problem itself be the final destination of your thoughts. Instead, let it be the starting point for finding an answer, for building something better. It's about seeing the challenge not as a solid wall, but as a door waiting to be opened. If you only look for the handle, this way of thinking isn't just for rich people, it's a quiet strength, a gentle push towards what's possible for anyone. Thinking like a gardener, not a harvester. Have you ever stopped to think about how a tiny seed becomes a great, strong tree? It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, patience, and a kind of focused care. This idea of thinking like a gardener, rather than just a harvester, is one of the quiet ways some people approach life and success. Here's the thing. A harvester comes along to take what's ready. They look for the ripe fruit, the full crop, and they gather it up. Their focus is on the immediate result, on what's available right now. And that's okay for some moments. But a gardener is different. They look at the soil, at the tiny seed, at the sunlight and the rain. They are focused on the future. They plant, they water, they prune, and they protect, knowing that the real reward comes much later. They understand growth takes seasons, not just minutes. This isn't a new idea, of course. For thousands of years, ancient stories and wise sayings from places like China and Greece talked about planting trees for future generations. They understood that the greatest rewards often come from decisions made with patience and a long view. It's about building a foundation, not just a quick collection. Think about learning something new, like playing the guitar or mastering a video game. When you first pick up a guitar, you don't magically play a song. You have to learn chords, practice, scales, make mistakes, and keep trying. That first strum might not sound like much, but if you keep showing up, day after day, watering that musical seed with practice, you slowly grow. You're not just trying to harvest a perfect song, right? Away, you're gardening your skill. You're building something deeper inside yourself, and that's why it matters. Life often gives us chances to be either a harvester, grabbing the quick win, or a gardener, patiently building for a truly rich and lasting future. The truly strong things in life, like deep understanding, valuable skills, or true friendships, are rarely harvested. They are grown, carefully and slowly, over time. They are nurtured into something beautiful. Realizing time is your richest gift. Have you ever stopped to think about what's truly valuable in life? More than money, more than things you can buy. Here's the thing. Many people who have a lot of money, they often think about time differently than most. They see time as their richest gift, something more precious than gold. You see, you can always earn more money, right? But you can never, ever get back a moment that's passed. Once a second is gone, it's gone forever. This idea isn't new. Long ago, a wise Roman writer named Seneca already knew this. He talked about how we spend our lives, not just our money. He said life isn't short. We just waste a lot of it without thinking. Imagine your day is like a perfectly wrapped present you get every single morning. Inside are 24 hours. You get one, and only one, of these presents each day. You can't save it for tomorrow. You can't trade it with someone else. And once it's open, and the hours are used up, they're gone forever. Think about how you spend those hours. Scrolling on your phone, doing homework, laughing with friends, playing a sport. Each choice uses up a little piece of that present. People who understand the true value of time often treat every moment like an investment, not just in money, but in learning new things, building strong relationships, taking care of their health, or creating something important to them. They choose carefully what they give their time to. So, the real richness isn't just about how much money you have in the bank. It's about how thoughtfully, how purposefully, you spend the moments you've been given. It's about remembering that time is always flowing, like a quiet river, and you only get to stand in it for a little while. What will you choose to do with your moments? This is a quiet, powerful idea to hold on to. Learning to say, I don't know yet. Have you ever felt that uneasy flutter inside when someone asks you something and don't have the answer? Like you should know. There's a deep strength in being able to say, I don't know yet. It isn't weakness. It's gently opening a door to something new. It means being brave enough to admit what you don't understand. You are ready to learn and to grow. Here's the thing. Many who achieve great things understand this secret. Centuries ago, in ancient Greece, a wise man named Socrates said he knew nothing for certain. He knew real wisdom starts when you realize how much more you have to learn. It's not having all the answers. It's about being humble enough to admit you don't, and curious to seek them out. Every I don't know can be a quiet invitation to say, but I can find out. It truly opens new paths. Don't think about learning to play a new song on an instrument, or mastering a video game. When you start, you don't know how. Your fingers stumble, your character gets defeated, but you don't say, I can't do this. You whisper, I don't know how yet. That small word, yet, changes everything. It fills the space with possibility. It tells your brain you're ready for practice, ready for mistakes, ready for the feeling of getting it. This powerful thinking stretches beyond skills. It touches every part of life. It's about accepting nobody holds all the answers, and that's okay. It's fine to stand at the edge of something vast and unknown and say, I don't know this path yet, but I am ready to explore it. That simple phrase is a gentle promise, a promise of discovery and becoming. That's where our deepest learning begins. Finding mentors to guide you. Have you ever felt a little lost, like you're standing at a crossroads, wondering which way to go? Or maybe you have a big dream, but the path feels blurry. That feeling is normal. Here's the thing, you don't have to figure it all out alone. This is where mentors come in. A mentor is someone who has walked a path you hope to walk. They've seen the turns, felt struggles, and found their way. They don't just tell you what to do. Instead, they share their light, helping you see your own steps clearly. Think about stories from long ago, or even your own family. People have always looked to elders, to those with more experience, for quiet guidance. Young people in ancient times learned from master artisans or wise village elders. It wasn't about tests. It was about shared wisdom, passed down. It's about finding someone who believes in you, even before you believe in yourself. Imagine a tiny sprout pushing up through the soil. It knows it needs sunlight, but not exactly how to get there. Now imagine a tall, strong tree nearby, already reaching for the sky. That tree doesn't pull the sprout up, but its presence, its shade, its roots helping the soil, helps the sprout find its own way, stronger. A mentor is a bit like that strong, steady tree. They make the journey feel safer, more possible. Finding such a person isn't just smart, it's deeply human. It reminds us that knowledge isn't a burden, but a gentle hand offered. Rich people understand this well. They know true wealth isn't just money, but the wisdom shared and connections made along life's quiet roads. It's about building a bridge of understanding, one thoughtful conversation, and knowing that, even when things feel uncertain, you are not walking alone. Prioritizing what truly matters. Have you ever stopped to think about what truly matters to you? Not just what you have to do, but what makes your heart feel full, or your mind feel at peace. It's easy to get caught up in all the noise, the endless to-do lists, the things people tell us are important. But here's the thing, rich people, the ones who seem to have figured out a lot about life, often see this differently. They understand that their time, their attention, and their energy are the most precious things they own. They learn to protect those things. Think about it like this. Ancient thinkers, centuries ago, already knew this. They talked about living a good life. For them, a good life wasn't just about having lots of stuff. It was about choosing what you gave your mind and spirit to. They believed we have limited moments, and how we spend them shapes who we become. It's like a garden. If you want beautiful flowers, you don't just throw seeds everywhere. You choose what to plant, you give it the right amount of water and sunlight, and you pull out the weeds. You prioritize. So, for you, an 8th grader, maybe it's deciding if that extra hour of scrolling on your phone is truly what matters most, or if using that time to talk to a grandparent, learn a new skill, or even just sit quietly with your thoughts, would bring a deeper kind of richness. It's not about doing more, but about choosing better. It's about knowing your garden, knowing what flowers you want to grow there, and giving them your best attention. And when you do this, when you consciously choose what gets your precious time and energy, you start to build a life that feels more meaningful, more truly your own. It's a quiet power, learning to care for what truly calls to you, and letting the rest simply fade away. Staying calm in a storm. Have you ever felt like a tiny boat on a giant, stormy ocean? It happens to all of us. When life gets tough, it's easy to feel swept away. But here's the thing about people who seem to handle so much, who build great things: they often learn to stay incredibly calm, even when big storms hit. It's not magic, it's a skill. Think about the ancient Greek philosophers, like the Stoics. They taught that you can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you react. You can choose to think clearly, even when your heart is racing. They believed real strength came from that inner peace, that quiet space inside you. Imagine a clear glass of water. Now, drop some dirt into it. It gets cloudy and messy. That's like your mind when you're stressed. But if you just let the glass sit, the dirt slowly settles to the bottom. The water becomes clear again, just like your mind can. Even when things are swirling, you can learn to let the dirt, the worry, the panic settle. You can find that clear space inside you. This skill isn't about avoiding problems, but it's about learning to be like the bottom of a deep lake. The surface can be wild with wind and waves, but down deep, it's always calm and still. When you build this inner stillness, you can think better, make smarter choices, and guide your boat through any storm. It's finding a quiet strength that helps you stand steady. It's a deep peace you carry inside, always. Crafting your own rules. Have you ever stopped to wonder why things are the way they are? Most of us grow up with rules all around us. Rules for school, rules for games, rules for how we should act. But here's the thing, rich people often think differently about these rules. They don't just accept them without question. Instead, they look at the world like a canvas, and they decide what colors to use, what lines to draw. They see that many rules aren't set in stone. They're just ideas that people agreed on, sometimes a long time ago. Think about history. For ages, people mostly followed traditions, never asking why the sun rose or why societies worked in a certain way. But then, brave thinkers began to question. They asked, what if the world isn't flat? Or what if leaders could be chosen, not just born? This wasn't about breaking laws. It was about looking at the hidden currents of life and deciding if they wanted to swim with them or find their own path. Imagine you're playing a board game with your friends. The rule book says one thing, but after a few rounds, you all realize a certain rule makes the game less fun, or maybe unfair. So, you talk it over. You decide, together, to change that rule, to make the game better for everyone playing. You're not ruining the game. You're improving it by crafting your own, better rule for your group. That's a bit like how some people approach life. They see the world's rules not as unbreakable laws, but as gentle suggestions. They ask, does this rule truly serve me? Does it help me grow, or does it hold me back? It's about understanding the unspoken agreements of life and choosing thoughtfully which ones to honor and which ones to gently reshape or even invent anew. It's a quiet power, a gentle strength, found in looking within and choosing your own unique way forward, not chasing shiny new things. Do you ever feel like you always need the newest phone, the coolest shoes, or the latest video game? That pull towards what's fresh and exciting is common. But here's the thing about how some rich people think differently. They often don't chase every shiny new object. This isn't about being cheap. It's about a deeper understanding of real value. Imagine someone building a strong, lasting house. They don't just pick the trendiest color paint every year. They focus on a strong foundation, good materials, things that will last decades. They think about what truly matters and what brings real, long-term worth, not just a quick thrill. Long ago, Thinkers like ancient Greek philosophers spoke about being content. They knew constant wanting could trap you. It's like a hamster wheel. You run and run, trying to catch the next thing, but never quite get there. When you get that new toy, you feel a rush, but that feeling fades, right? Then you look for the next rush. This cycle never makes you truly satisfied. Think about a musician. They could spend money buying the newest, most expensive guitar every few months, or they could invest in one good instrument and spend time mastering it, practicing for hours, writing songs. The second path builds real skill and deep satisfaction, something that lasts. The first path means many guitars, but maybe never truly learning to play any well. It's about knowing what truly brings joy and stability. It's about finding peace in enough, instead of always needing more. This way of thinking helps you build something real, something that lasts longer than any quick trend. It's a calm feeling, knowing your happiness doesn't depend on the next purchase, but on what you already deeply value. And that's why it matters. It frees your mind to focus on what truly grows, like your own knowledge or skills. Building assets, not just buying stuff. Have you ever wondered what truly lasts in this world? What stays with us, and what just fades away? Sometimes, we chase after things we can buy, shiny new objects that promise happiness. But rich people, those who build lasting wealth, often think about something different, building assets, not just buying stuff. So, what's an asset? Think of it as something that grows in value, or puts money in your pocket, or helps you create more. It's like planting a seed instead of eating a candy bar. The candy is gone in a moment. The seed, with care, can become a tree that gives fruit for years, offers shade, or even provides wood for a house. It's a resource that keeps giving. Stuff, on the other hand, is usually something that loses value as soon as you get it, or costs you money to keep. A new video game console is fun, but it doesn't grow in value like a share in a company or a skill you learn. Long ago, thinkers like the Stoics taught about investing in what truly matters, things inside you, like wisdom and character, and things that serve the common good. They knew that true richness wasn't about having the most things, but about building foundations. Imagine an old craftsman who spent years learning how to carve wood. That skill, carefully honed, is an asset. It allows him to create beautiful things, to teach others, and it stays with him no matter what. It's not like buying a fancy new tool that might break or get old quickly. The skill itself is the asset. Here's the thing. When you focus on assets, you're looking beyond today. You're planting those seeds, learning those skills, building those connections that will benefit you and others long into the future. It's a quiet strength, a gentle knowing that you are growing something real. And that's a deep kind of richness, a peace that comes from building, not just consuming. It's about creating a legacy, however small, that echoes through time. Understanding how money works. Have you ever stopped to truly think about what money is? Not just the paper or the numbers on a screen, but what it really means. It feels like this powerful force, doesn't it? Something that seems to flow easily for some and struggle for others. Here's the thing. Money isn't just a physical object. It's an idea, a shared belief, a promise. Imagine long ago, before money, you needed to swap things directly, like apples for fish. This was messy, so people started using items everyone agreed had value, like shiny shells. These became symbols of trust, a way to hold value. Over time, these symbols turned into coins, then paper, and now often just digital signals. But the core idea stayed the same. Money is a tool we all agree to use. It helps us exchange value and effort. It's a silent language for trade. Think of money like the current in a river. When water flows freely, it nourishes the land. It helps life grow, but if water gets dammed up, stuck in one place, it can't do as much good. Money is a bit like that river. When it moves, when it circulates, it creates opportunities. New ideas bloom. People share their skills. It's not about how much water is in your personal pond. It's about how well that water flows out and brings new water back in. It's about the energy it carries. So, understanding money isn't just about how much you have. It's about seeing its nature as a flow, a connection between people, a tool for creating and sharing. It's a powerful reflection of trust and human energy. When we see money this way, not just as something to grab and hold, but as a current meant to move, we begin to understand how it can truly work for good. It's a quiet conversation happening all around us, helping dreams take shape. Always looking for ways to improve. Have you ever wondered why some people never seem to stop learning or growing? It's like they have a quiet hum inside them, a gentle push, always whispering, "What's next? What can be better?" This isn't about being unhappy with what you have. It's about a deep, peaceful understanding that everything, even something good, can always be a little bit more. Think about it like this. For centuries, wise people have talked about the idea of excellence, not just winning, but doing your very best, and then looking at that best and wondering, could I find a different way, a smoother path? It's a very old human desire, this urge to refine things, to make them clearer or stronger. It's not a race against others, but a quiet conversation with yourself about what you're capable of becoming. Imagine you're learning to play a song on the piano. You practice it until it sounds pretty good, but then you might notice a tiny pause that could be smoother, or a note that could ring a little clearer. You try it again, not because the first try was bad, but because you saw a chance for it to be more. You feel a gentle curiosity about what that perfection might sound like. This isn't a chore, it's a quiet joy, a journey of discovery for your own skill. And that's the thing. This way of thinking helps people build incredible things, whether it's a business, a skill, or even just a good day. It's a mindset that says, I am always becoming. There is always a new horizon, not because the present isn't enough, but because the world is vast, and you are always growing within it. It's a peaceful, endless dance of getting better, one quiet step at a time. Being honest with yourself. Have you ever really looked in a mirror, not just at your hair or your clothes, but deep into your own eyes? What do you truly see there, beyond the surface? Being honest with yourself means exactly that, seeing your real self, your strengths, your weaknesses, and your quiet fears. It's about not pretending they aren't there. It's like gently pulling back a heavy curtain to let in the bright light, even on the dusty, forgotten corners of your mind. It takes a soft courage. This idea isn't new. Thousands of years ago, a wise man named Socrates in ancient Greece famously said, "Know thyself." He meant truly understanding who you are on the inside, what you deeply value, and why you do the things you do. It's a journey into your inner world, but not a scary one. It's more like a calm, curious exploration of your own hidden landscape. Think of it like a scientist in a lab. If a scientist wants to solve a complicated problem, they need to be completely honest about their observations. If they pretend a chemical reaction happened differently, or hide a tiny mistake, they'll never find the real solution. Their data must be true, even if it's not what they hoped for, because only truth leads to discovery. In the same way, your self-understanding is your most important data. If it's fake or blurry, you can't really build anything lasting on top of it. Many people who build truly successful lives, in the way we're exploring, often practice this quiet bravery. They look at their own mistakes, their not-so-great habits, their true situations, and their emotional gaps without flinching. They don't try to sugarcoat reality for themselves. This doesn't mean they're perfect. It means they've found the solid ground of truth. It's from this real place, this honest starting point, that they can actually begin to grow and make better choices, step by quiet step. It's the foundation. It's the first, most important whisper of real change in your life. Seeing the bigger picture. Have you ever watched a single bird flying across the sky? It's a tiny speck, a brief moment. But what if you looked up and saw the entire migration? Thousands of birds, crossing continents, moving with the seasons. That's what it means to see the bigger picture. It's not just about what's right in front of your eyes today. It's about stepping back, letting your gaze sweep across the whole landscape, understanding how one small thing fits into a larger, unfolding story. For centuries, wise people, from ancient philosophers to quiet elders, have talked about this. They knew that if you only focus on what's immediate, you might miss the true journey. They taught that every small choice, every tiny action, sends ripples out, affecting not just tomorrow, but weeks, months, even years from now. It's like a single stone dropped into a pond. The circles spread out wider and wider. The rich often think this way, not just about money, but about everything. They consider not only what a decision does now, but what it builds toward in the future. Think about a long novel, a thick book with hundreds of pages. If you read only one sentence, one paragraph, you might miss the entire plot. You wouldn't understand the characters' journeys or the big message the author is trying to share. But when you read the whole book, every chapter connects, every small detail makes sense. Seeing the bigger picture is like reading the whole novel of your life, not just today's page. This way of thinking allows for patience. It helps you understand that some things take time to grow, like a mighty oak from a tiny acorn. It's about knowing that even a setback today isn't the end, but perhaps just a challenging chapter. This kind of thoughtful view helps some people build not just wealth, but meaningful lives, filled with purpose and understanding. It brings a calm kind of wisdom, a quiet strength that sees far beyond the horizon. Planning for the unexpected life is a bit like sailing, isn't it? We set a course, we have our destination in mind, but then the winds can shift without warning, or a sudden storm appears on the horizon. What happens then? Do we panic, or do we already have a plan for rough seas? This is where the idea of planning for the unexpected comes in. It's not about being afraid of what might go wrong. It's about having a quiet wisdom, a deep understanding that life has its surprises. People who think differently, often the ones who achieve great things, don't just dream of success. They also spend time gently imagining what challenges might pop up along the way. They think about not just plan A, but also plan B, plan C, and even a way to start over if everything falls apart. Ancient thinkers long ago often spoke about how life changes constantly. They understood that fortune could be kind one day, difficult the next, so they focused on building inner strength, a kind of peace that wouldn't be shaken by outside events. It wasn't about stopping bad things from happening, because that's impossible. It was about being ready for them, so they wouldn't break your spirit. Think about a scientist working on an important experiment. They don't just hope everything goes perfectly. They think about all the ways it could go wrong. What if a chemical reacts differently, or the power goes out? They have backup plans, extra materials, and a clear head for problem solving. It's like when you're building a big Lego castle. You might have extra bricks, or know how to adjust your design if a piece is missing. That readiness gives you a calm confidence. And here's the thing, this way of thinking isn't about fear, it's about freedom. When you've considered the shadows, they don't hold the same power to surprise and upset you. There's a quiet strength in knowing that whatever storm comes, you've thought about how to navigate it. You won't avoid every problem, but you'll be ready to face them, not crumble beneath them. This quiet preparation brings a deep sense of peace, allowing you to move forward, even when the path is unclear. Valuing experiences over possessions. Have you ever wondered what truly stays with us? Deep down, long after something new loses its shine, we often chase after the latest phone, cool shoes, or trendy gadgets. But rich people, the ones who seem to build lasting happiness, think differently about what holds real value. They care more about experiences than just possessions. Think about it this way. A shiny new bike feels great for a while, but a bike trip through a national park with friends, seeing amazing views, maybe even getting a little lost. That story, those feelings, the laughter, the small fears overcome, those things truly stick. They become part of who you are, something no one can take away. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosophers, talked about this long ago. They believed true happiness wasn't found in gathering gold or owning grand houses. Instead, they thought it came from living a life filled with wisdom and memorable moments. They understood that physical things can break or be lost, but what you learn and feel inside stays with you. It builds your character. Here's a simple way to look at it, like how our brains work. When you buy a new toy, it's a small, temporary file, but when you go on an adventure, learn a new skill, or help someone, it's like creating a complex, colorful movie in your mind. Your brain builds new connections, storing detailed scenes and emotions. These memories become woven into the fabric of who you are. So, while owning cool stuff can be fun, it's the journeys, the challenges, the quiet moments of wonder, and the shared laughter that truly make us rich. These experiences don't just fill a closet, they fill your mind and heart. They create a treasure that can never be sold or broken. That is the real wealth that grows with you. Being resourceful with what you have. Have you ever looked at something that seems small, maybe even broken, and wondered if it could still be useful? Many people, especially those who build great things, think this way. They don't wait for perfect conditions or a huge pile of money to start. Here's the thing, they look at what they have, right now, and ask, how can I use this? This idea is called being resourceful. It means making the most of what you've got, no matter how little it seems. It's about seeing possibilities where others might only see problems or emptiness. Think about people throughout history who started with very little. They didn't have much, but they used their cleverness, their determination, and whatever bits and pieces they could find. That's being resourceful. It's an ancient kind of wisdom, focusing on what's in your hands, not what's out of reach. Imagine a tiny seed. It doesn't have a lot, just a small, hard shell and a promise of life inside. It doesn't ask for perfect soil or constant sunshine. Sometimes it finds itself in a crack in the pavement, but it uses the tiny bit of water that drips there. It pushes through the hard concrete with a quiet, persistent strength. It uses every tiny resource it has to sprout and grow. That's resourcefulness in action. It's not about having everything. It's about making do and making more with the very little you have. So here's what matters. True richness isn't just about money or possessions. It's a way of thinking. It's about seeing the hidden value in things, finding creative solutions, and understanding that you often have more than you think. It's about a quiet confidence in what you can do with what's already here. Setting clear, big goals. Have you ever really wanted something so much it gave you a little shiver? Maybe it was to learn a new skill, create something amazing, or understand a big idea. For many who build great things in life, this feeling isn't just a wish. It's their starting point. Here's the thing. They don't just hope for success. They decide exactly what it looks like. They set clear, big goals. This isn't about wishing on a star. It's drawing a map to a place only you can imagine. It means knowing precisely where you want to go, even if the path isn't clear. Think how ancient explorers didn't just wander. They studied stars, setting a clear destination across unknown oceans. That clear picture, that big dream, pulled them forward. Imagine a scientist trying to find a new medicine. They don't just mix chemicals. They have a very specific, big goal: to cure an illness, to ease suffering. That huge, clear aim guides every test, every lesson from failure, every long night working. It's not a small problem, but a massive challenge with an equally massive vision. The clarity of that goal gives their work direction and meaning. This thinking isn't just for scientists or explorers. It's a way to live. A goal isn't just something nice to have. It's like a quiet compass inside you. When you have a clear, big goal, it helps you choose what to do and what to let go. It helps you see beyond today and imagine a future you're actively building. Maybe this is why some people achieve so much. They don't just drift. They decide. They aim. And that grand vision gently guides their way, creating not just wealth, but lives that feel truly intentional. There's a quiet power in knowing your own direction. Getting comfortable with discomfort ever feel like avoiding something hard, like a tough math problem, or speaking up in class? We all want to stay in what feels easy. But here's the thing. Successful people, including the rich, often do the opposite. They learn to make friends with discomfort. It sounds strange, right? Why would you want discomfort? Think of a muscle. When you work out, it feels tired, maybe sore. That's discomfort, but it means your muscle is adapting. It's getting stronger, growing. Our minds and spirits work the same way. Centuries ago, wise thinkers like the Stoics in ancient Greece and Rome understood this. They didn't run from challenges. Instead, they saw difficult moments as training. Like an athlete trains their body, these thinkers trained their minds for hardship. They knew enduring discomfort built inner strength and a quiet calm. Life's struggles weren't roadblocks, but teachers. Think about learning a new skill, like a musical instrument. At first, your fingers stumble, notes sound wrong. It feels awkward. That's discomfort, but you practice, you push through that awkwardness. Slowly, your fingers find their way. The music flows. What was hard becomes smooth. That discomfort was just part of becoming skilled. So, when life asks you to step outside your easy space, remember this. That feeling of unease, that wobble, isn't a sign to turn back. It's often an invitation forward. It's where your truest growth happens. It's where you find out how brave and capable you really are. And that's a deep strength, built not on avoiding hard things, but on gently walking through them. Learning to delegate and trust. Have you ever felt like you had to do everything yourself? Like carrying all the weight, all the worries, on your own shoulders? It's a heavy feeling, isn't it? Well, here's a big secret many rich people learn. They don't try to do it all. They learn to delegate. That means letting others help, giving tasks to people good at them. And hand in hand with delegating is trusting. Trusting that those people will do a good job, even if it's not exactly how you do it. Think about any big amazing thing ever built by humans. A giant bridge, a famous city. One person didn't do it all. It was always a team. Great leaders, even long ago, knew they couldn't control every small detail. They had to choose good people, give them jobs, and then believe in them. It's an old idea that true strength comes from working together, not from being a lone wolf. Imagine you're on a school basketball team. The coach doesn't tell every player what to do for every second of the game. They give each player a role. The point guard handles the ball, the center blocks shots, and then, during the game, players pass the ball, trusting their teammate to catch it, to shoot, to score. If one player tried to do everything, dribble, shoot, rebound, all by themselves, they'd get tired fast, and they'd probably lose. But when they trust each other, when they delegate who does what, they become powerful, much stronger as a whole. So, learning to delegate and trust isn't just about getting things done. It's about letting go of some of that heavy weight. It's understanding that letting others help isn't weakness, but a quiet strength. It creates space in your mind, lets you focus on what only you can do. It reminds us we're all connected, a deep, calm power in shared effort. It's a beautiful way to live, light and free, knowing you don't have to carry the whole world yourself. Protecting your peace of mind. Have you ever felt a deep calm inside, even when the world around you felt super busy or loud? That quiet feeling, that sense of inner safety, is what we call peace of mind. It's like having a special, secret room inside your head where nothing bad can touch you. Think about people long, long ago. Even then, wise thinkers talked about how important it was to guard your thoughts. They knew you can't always stop outside problems from happening. But here's the thing. You can always choose how you let those problems affect your inside world. It's not about ignoring what's real. It's about choosing what you invite into your mind and what you keep out. Imagine your mind as a beautiful, quiet library. When you read, you want silence, right? Now, picture someone constantly yelling outside or throwing noisy things at the windows. You wouldn't be able to focus or even enjoy the quiet space. So, what do? You close the windows. You put up do not disturb signs. Protecting your peace of mind is like doing that for your inner library. It means choosing not to let every piece of gossip, every mean comment, or every little worry storm through your quiet space and mess things up. Rich people, often, have learned this skill really well. They understand that a clear, calm mind is more valuable than any expensive thing. It takes practice, like learning to play an instrument or getting good at a sport. It's about setting gentle boundaries for your thoughts and feelings. You learn to say no to things that steal your calm, even if they seem small. Because truly, giving yourself this inner quiet isn't selfish. It's like charging your phone. You need it to work well. When your mind is peaceful, you can think clearly, feel stronger, and handle whatever comes next. It's your own gentle shield in a noisy world. Believing in abundance, not scarcity. Have you ever felt like there just isn't enough? Not enough time, not enough money, not enough of something you really want? That feeling is often called a scarcity mindset. It's like believing the pie is small, and if someone else gets a slice, there's less for you. But many successful people think differently. They tend to have an abundance mindset. This means they see the world as vast and full of possibilities, where there's enough for everyone, and where even more can be created through effort and imagination. Think about it. For a long time in human history, people truly lived with harsh scarcity. Food was hard to find. Shelter was a constant struggle. So, it made sense to worry deeply about running out. But over centuries, as societies grew, thinkers began to imagine a different world. They wondered if our minds, our ideas, our sheer human creativity weren't limited at all. Philosophers, even ancient ones, often talked about the infinite nature of human potential, suggesting that ideas, unlike physical things, can actually grow and expand, not shrink, when they are shared. Here's an example. Imagine you have a truly brilliant idea for a school project. If you keep that idea to yourself, it stays just one thought. But if you share it with a friend, and they add their own thoughts, suddenly you have 2 ideas, maybe 3, perhaps even a whole team of new thoughts. The original idea didn't shrink because you shared it. In fact, it actually grew and became richer. That's how abundance works. It's like when you light a candle from another candle. The first candle doesn't lose its flame, it just shares its light, and now there are two warm, bright lights. This way of thinking, this deep belief in seeing the world as a place where things can grow and expand, truly changes how you live. It changes how you approach problems and how you work with other people. It helps you spot amazing opportunities instead of just seeing limits and roadblocks. It's not just about having more money. It's about believing there's always more room to learn, to create, to connect, and to find solutions. It's a quiet, powerful hope, a gentle reminder that even if one door closes, many more are waiting patiently to open for you. Moving past fear of failure, have you ever held back from trying something new because a quiet voice whispered, "What if I mess up?" This fear of failure feels heavy, like a backpack of rocks, keeping us stuck. But here's the thing, many successful people, those who build amazing lives, see mistakes differently. They don't let that fear stop them at all. Think about how we truly learn. Long ago, even ancient thinkers understood this. Mistakes aren't roadblocks, they're signposts. Imagine an old scientist trying to figure out how the world works. They didn't get it right the first time. Many experiments didn't work, but each failed experiment taught them something new, guiding them closer to the truth. They saw each wrong answer as a piece of the puzzle, not a reason to quit. Here's a simple way to think about it. Remember learning to ride a bicycle. You wobbled, you fell, maybe you scraped a knee. That fall wasn't a sign you couldn't ride. It was part of learning how to ride. You didn't give up then. You got back up, adjusted your balance, and tried again. Each tumble taught your body something, helping it find the rhythm. The failure was just practice in disguise. So, when something new scares us, and that old fear tries to grab hold, remember the bicycle. It's not about being perfect from the start. It's about moving forward, even with a wobble or a small fall. Each step, even a misstep, is part of the journey. It builds courage, deepens understanding, and lights the path to what comes next. It's about choosing growth over comfort, always. Creating systems to help you grow. Have you ever thought about how tiny drops of water can carve through solid rock over time? It's not one sudden flood that does it, but the steady, quiet drip, drip, drip. Rich people often understand this deep truth about growth. They don't just focus on a single big push. Instead, they create systems, quiet, steady ways that keep working for them, helping them grow without constant, tiring effort. This idea isn't new. Think about the ancient Romans. They built huge aqueducts. They were complex channels designed to bring fresh water from distant mountains into their cities, day after day, year after year. It was a patient, long-term plan, a structure that allowed their society to thrive without worrying about water every single moment. It shows how setting things up smart can make life easier. Or think about learning something new, like playing an instrument. You could practice for hours one day, then stop. That's a big one-time effort. But a system means practicing for just 10 or 15 minutes every single day. It's a small, steady thing. Over weeks and months, those consistent practice times add up. You suddenly play songs you never thought possible. Your fingers remember. Your brain learns. All because of that quiet system. This really helps you grow. So, this idea of building systems isn't about being busy all the time. It's about setting up gentle pathways for your own growth. It's about trusting the small, steady steps. It means creating a quiet current that carries you forward, even when you're not swimming hard. It's a patient way of moving through life, letting the flow help you grow, little by little, into who you are meant to be. Learning from every person you meet. Have you ever really thought about the people around you? Not just your friends, but everyone. Like the person who makes your lunch, or someone you just pass in the hall. Here's the thing, people who understand the world deeply often see every single person as a potential teacher. They believe everyone carries a tiny piece of wisdom, a unique story, or a different way of seeing things. It's like a hidden treasure map, and each person holds one small, important clue. This idea isn't new. For thousands of years, wise thinkers have said similar things. Old philosophers, like Socrates, believed true wisdom came from knowing how much you didn't know. He showed this by talking to everyone, farmers, soldiers, asking questions, and learning from their answers. It wasn't about being smarter, it was about being open. He knew knowledge isn't just in books or schools. It's also found in everyday life, in the experiences of others. Think of it like building a really diverse playlist. You wouldn't just listen to one type of music, right? If you only heard pop songs, you'd miss out on classical, the energy of rock, or the story. In folk music, each song adds something different to your understanding of sound and emotion. Your mind works the same way. Every new person you genuinely listen to adds a new song to your understanding of the world. Maybe they have a different way of solving a problem, or a calm way of dealing with anger, or even just a funny story that teaches you patience. So, this way of thinking isn't just for some people, it's for anyone who wants to grow. It makes your world feel bigger, more colorful, and much more interesting. When you approach every person with a quiet curiosity, ready to learn, you become like a sponge, soaking up valuable lessons. And that's a kind of richness money can't buy. It's a richness of spirit, a deep well of understanding that helps you move through life with more grace and wisdom. Not letting others define your worth. Have you ever felt like someone else's opinion of you stuck to you, like glue? Maybe a friend said something unkind, or you didn't get picked for a team, and suddenly, it felt like your whole value dropped. Here's the thing, truly rich people, not just with money but with deep inner strength, understand that your worth isn't a score given by others. Long ago, thinkers like the Stoics taught about finding peace inside yourself. They believed that, while you can't control what others say or do, you can control how you react. This ancient idea isn't about being cold. It's about knowing your own true value, independent of outside noise. It's a quiet strength that has echoed through centuries. Rich people, the ones who thrive, grasp this deeply. They know that if your value depends on what someone else thinks, you'll always be on a roller coaster. Their approval lifts you, their disapproval sinks you. Think of a strong, healthy tree. Its worth isn't decided by whether someone walks by and calls it pretty or ugly. Its worth is in its roots, its ability to stand tall, provide shade, and grow fruit. Its value comes from simply being a tree, fulfilling its nature. Just like that tree, your core value isn't shaken by a shifting wind of opinions. You are valuable because you exist, because you have thoughts, feelings, and a unique spirit. So, when someone tries to label you or put you down, remember that their words are just that, words. They don't change your truth. Your worth is a quiet, steady light within you, not a flickering flame easily blown out by someone else's breath. Hold on to that light. It is yours, always. Embracing change as a friend. Have you ever noticed how the world around us is always shifting? One day it's sunny, the next it rains. A school year ends, and another begins. These changes can sometimes feel scary, like stepping into the unknown. But what if we looked at change not as something to fear, but as a friend walking alongside us? Many successful people often think about change this way. They don't try to stop it. Instead, they welcome it. They see that change often opens new paths, new ideas, or new ways of doing things that might be even better. It's like a river. It never stops flowing, always moving, always becoming. Ancient thinkers understood this too. Long ago, a philosopher named Heraclitus in ancient Greece said, "You cannot step into the same river twice." He meant everything is always moving, always changing. The river looks the same, but the water itself is always new. This idea tells us change isn't a mistake. It's just how things are. Think about a tree in autumn. Its green leaves turn golden, then red, then brown. They fall off, leaving bare branches. The tree isn't dying, it's just changing. It's preparing for winter, then for spring, when fresh new leaves will burst forth. This cycle is natural. The tree doesn't fight it, it simply lets go, knowing something new is coming. So, when things in your own life shift, maybe a new class, a new neighborhood, or a new idea about yourself, try to see it like the tree sees autumn. Try to greet it with quiet curiosity. Change isn't here to hurt us, it's often here to help us grow, to bring us something fresh we couldn't have found any other way. It is part of becoming, bringing beautiful parts of ourselves to light. Life is always moving forward. Thinking about what you can control. Have you ever felt like things just keep happening that you can't change? Maybe the weather ruins your plans, or a friend is upset, and you wish you could fix it. It's a common feeling, right? But here's how some people, especially those who build truly rich lives, think about these moments. They know life will always throw things at us that are completely out of our hands. The wind blows, rain falls, others make their choices. What truly matters, they realized, isn't those outside forces. It's what happens inside you, in response. Long ago, wise thinkers understood this deeply. They believed true freedom wasn't about making the world do what you wanted. Instead, it was about finding power in what you could control. Your thoughts, your effort, your kindness, your reactions. These are your real treasures, things no one can take from you. They saw your mind as a kingdom, and you are its ruler. Think about a basketball game. You can't control if the referee makes a bad call, or if an opponent gets a lucky shot. You can't control the crowd, but you can control how hard you play, how you encourage teammates, how you practice, and how you learn from mistakes. You control your focus and effort, even if the score isn't going your way. And that's why this way of thinking matters. When you stop spending energy on things you can't change, you free up more for what you can. You choose where to put your attention, like steering a ship only with the sails you can adjust. This isn't just about getting rich in money. It's about rich peace and inner strength. It's about finding a quiet confidence that stays with you, no matter what storms come. Giving more than you take. Have you ever considered that true richness might not be about what you collect, but what you offer? It's a quiet, powerful thought. Many believe wealth is just having a lot of money or cool stuff. But here's the thing, some truly rich people, those who build amazing things and live full lives, often think differently. They live by the idea of giving more than they take. This isn't just about charity, it's a mindset. When you interact with the world, are you always asking, what can I get? Or are you asking, what can I add? How can I make this better, even a little? It's about putting out more effort, more kindness, more helpful ideas than you expect. It's like planting a seed, then tending to it, knowing the fruit might benefit others too. For a long time, thinkers across history talked about this idea. Ancient Roman philosophers, for example, believed a good life wasn't just about enjoying things, it was about contributing to society. They saw that when people focused on what they could give, like knowledge or service, the whole community grew stronger. And those givers often found deeper happiness and success. Don't think about a river. A river doesn't just take water from the mountains, it gives life to every plant, animal, and town along its path. It waters fields, provides homes for fish, and helps power things. It gives constantly, sharing its essence. Because it gives so much, it becomes vital and beautiful. If it only took, it would dry up. So, here's what this means for you. When you focus on giving your best, whether in a school project, helping a friend, or creating something new, you don't actually lose anything. Instead, you grow. You become more valuable, not just in money, but in character. It's like filling your own well by watering others' gardens. That's a kind of wealth that never runs out. It's a calm, strong way to build a life. Finding purpose in your passions. Have you ever wondered why some people seem truly lit up by what they do? It's like they have a secret energy source. For many who are successful, especially those we call rich, it's not just about making money. It's often about finding a deeper reason, a why, in their work and their lives. Here's the thing, this deep sense of purpose often grows straight out of their passions. It's not about forcing yourself to do something you hate. It's about taking what you genuinely love, what makes time fly by, and connecting it to something that matters to the world around you. For a very long time, thinkers have talked about this idea. Ancient Greek philosophers, for example, used a word like eudaimonia. It meant more than just happiness. It was about living a truly good life, one where you're flourishing and fulfilling your best potential. They believed that when your actions matched your deepest values and talents, that's where true well-being was found. It's not about being lucky. It's about aligning who you are with what you do. Don't think about a plant. It naturally turns towards the sun, seeking light to grow. It doesn't have to be told to do it. It just does. Your passions are a bit like that inner light. Maybe you love to solve puzzles, or create art, or understand how things work, or help others. These interests are like the plant's natural lean. When you let that interest guide you, when you let it connect to a problem that needs solving, or a beauty that needs sharing, it begins to bloom. So, if you love painting, it's not just about putting colors on a canvas. Perhaps your purpose is to show people a new way of seeing the world, or to bring calm, or to express a feeling that words can't quite reach. That's your passion finding its voice, its meaningful reason for being. It matters because when rich people or anyone really understand this, their actions become more powerful. They aren't just working for a paycheck. They are building something, solving something, creating something, driven by an inner fire. And that fire, that deep feeling of doing what truly matters, is a kind of wealth that no money can buy. It's a quiet satisfaction, a feeling of being exactly where you are meant to be, using your unique self to make a difference. Taking care of your health like gold. Have you ever stopped to think about what the most precious thing you own truly is? It's not your phone, or that new video game you really want. It's your health. People who are truly wealthy, not just with money but with a deeper understanding of life, often see their health as their most valuable asset. They don't just spend on health, they invest in it, carefully. Think about how someone might protect a rare, shimmering piece of gold. That's how they view their well-being. It's a mindset that says, without good health, nothing else really matters in the long run. For thousands of years, long before we had modern hospitals or fancy fitness centers, wise people understood this deep truth. Ancient philosophers often said that a healthy mind lives in a healthy body. They saw that even a powerful king couldn't truly enjoy his riches if he was always sick, if his body was failing him. This idea isn't new. It's a timeless wisdom passed down through generations. Here's the thing. Think about a super important musical instrument, like a violin used by a famous player. The musician doesn't just play it. They clean it gently. They tune it perfectly. They store it safely in a special case. Why? Because that instrument is how they create their beautiful art, how they express themselves to the world. Your body and your mind are like that instrument. They are how you experience everything, how you learn new things, how you feel emotions, how you create your own life's song. So, when you choose to eat well, to get enough sleep, to move your body, or to take a few quiet moments for your thoughts, you're not just doing a chore. You are treating yourself like something incredibly valuable, something truly golden. You are building a powerful, lasting wealth from the inside out. This kind of inner strength and well-being stays with you, always, quietly supporting every dream, every challenge, and every joyful moment of your entire life. Staying humble while reaching high. Have you ever wondered if the tallest trees in a forest forget the ground they grew from? It's like thinking about people who reach really high. But here's the thing. Staying humble while you're reaching for the stars isn't about acting small or pretending you haven't done great things. It's about remembering your roots. Think about the old Greek thinkers, like Aristotle. He talked a lot about wisdom. For him, true wisdom wasn't just knowing a lot, it was also knowing what you don't know. It was about always being open to learning, no matter how smart you felt. This idea that there's always more to discover keeps a person grounded. It stops them from thinking they have all the answers. Imagine a giant redwood tree. It stands hundreds of feet tall, touching the clouds. But its strength doesn't come just from its height. It comes from its strong, deep roots, deep underground. Those roots hold it firm through storms. They draw water and nutrients from the soil. The tree needs that connection to the ground to keep growing tall. People are like that tree. Your roots are where you came from, your family, your community, the struggles that taught you lessons, the people who helped you along the way. As you find success and wealth, keeping those roots strong is vital. It means remembering the journey, not just the destination. It means staying thankful for the help you received. So, when rich people stay humble, it often means they never stop learning. They listen more than they talk. They understand that their success often connects to many other people, not just themselves. It's about a quiet strength, knowing that true greatness isn't about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday, connected to the ground that made you. Learning to negotiate fairly. Have you ever stopped to think about what fair really means? Is it just about everyone getting the exact same thing, or something deeper, something that feels right? Here's the thing. Rich people often understand that true negotiation isn't about crushing the other side or winning at all costs. It's about finding a sweet spot, a place where both sides feel heard, respected, and where both can walk away with something valuable, a quiet satisfaction. Think about it like a seesaw. If one person piles on all their weight, the other side just hangs in the air, sad and stuck. But if you both shift and adjust, you can find a balance. Both sides touch the ground, even for a moment, and the game can go on. This idea of finding balance isn't new at all. Ancient thinkers from long ago talked about finding harmony in all things. They saw fairness as a kind of deep rhythm, a way for people to live well together. It was less about strict rules and more about understanding that the world works better when everyone feels like they've been treated justly. So, when you're trying to figure out who gets the front seat in the car or how to divide up chores for a group project, think about that seesaw. Instead of just pushing for what you want with all your might, try to pause and listen. Ask what the other person truly needs. Maybe they have a good reason for wanting something that you haven't considered. This can help you understand their side, and it can help them understand yours. And here's why it matters. When you negotiate fairly, you're not just making a deal for today. You're gently building something bigger. You're building trust. You're showing that you value the other person's feelings and needs, not just what you can get from them. It's a quiet kind of power, this ability to create a win-win, where everyone feels a little more connected, a little more seen. It leaves you feeling good inside, knowing you helped create something balanced and true. Seeing challenges as lessons. Have you ever faced something really tough, like a giant wall in your path? It's natural to feel stuck or frustrated, but here's the thing. Many successful people see these hard moments differently. They don't see challenges as problems that stop them. Instead, they see them as lessons, as quiet teachers in disguise. This idea isn't new. People have thought about it for thousands of years. Wise thinkers from long ago believed our struggles make us stronger. They understood that when you face something difficult, you're not just dealing with an obstacle. You're being given a chance to learn something deep about yourself, about the world, and what you're truly capable of. It's like a hidden gift, wrapped in difficulty. Think about a small, young tree. Its roots reach down, then hit a giant, unmoving rock. Does the tree give up? No. Its roots go around the rock. They push harder. They twist. They find cracks. They grow deeper and wider to get past it. Because of that rock, the tree's roots become stronger, more complex, more anchored. The rock, which seemed like a blockage, actually helped the tree build a stronger foundation. And that's why it matters for us. When you see a challenge not as a wall but as a lesson, your whole view shifts. It changes how you feel, how you act, and what you believe about your strength. Every stumble, every mistake, every hard moment becomes a quiet whisper, teaching you something important. So, next time something feels truly hard, remember the tree and its roots. This might work for you. See it not as a problem, but as a silent teacher, helping you grow into something truly amazing. Building a legacy, not just a bank account. Have you ever thought about what truly lasts? What truly matters after they're gone? When we're young, money often seems like the main goal. It buys things and comfort. But here's the thing, truly rich people often think beyond just adding numbers to a bank account. They think about building a legacy. This means creating something that keeps giving, helping, or inspiring, even after they're gone. It's not about how much they have, but about what they leave behind. Think about historical figures we still talk about today. We remember them for their ideas, their kindness, or the positive changes they made. People like Anne Frank, whose diary teaches hope, or Marie Curie, whose science changed medicine. They didn't just build wealth, they built impact. It's like planting a tree. A tiny sapling doesn't give fruit or shade right away. But with time, it grows strong and beautiful. It gives shelter, fruit, and clean air for generations. Your bank account is like gathering soil for yourself. Building a legacy is planting seeds for a forest that helps everyone far into the future. It's about making sure your existence makes the ground a little more fertile for those who come after you. So, it's seeing life as more than just a short trip to gather things. It's understanding that our greatest treasures might not be what we own, but the good we share. It's creating a ripple effect, where one thoughtful act or shared idea can touch countless lives. And that's why it matters, because the deepest kind of richness isn't measured in dollars, but in the enduring beauty and goodness you add to the world. Understanding the power of your mind. Have you ever stopped to think about how powerful your mind really is? Not just a place for ideas, but like the main control center for your whole life. Here's the thing, how you think can actually change what happens around you. This isn't just a hopeful idea. People have studied it for a very long time. Ancient Greek thinkers, like Plato, believed our thoughts shaped our world. They said what we imagine and believe isn't just make-believe, it plants seeds in our minds. These seeds then grow into our actions and even our realities. Later, Roman philosophers, the Stoics, taught that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can always control how we think about it. This idea is simple, but so deep. It means your inner world, your thoughts, are your own kingdom. Think about learning a new skill. Imagine a video game level you find super hard. If you keep telling yourself, I'm terrible at this, I'll never get it, what happens? You'd probably give up quickly, right? But what if you shift that thought? What if you say, this is tough, but I can learn it. I'll try a different strategy. Suddenly, your brain looks for solutions instead of reasons to quit. That little switch in your mind changes your whole approach, and that's why it matters. So, the real secret isn't magic. It's knowing your mind isn't just a receiver. It's a powerful broadcast station too. What you send out in your thoughts often comes back, shaped by your beliefs. It's a quiet power, always there, waiting for you to notice it. Your thoughts are like the compass for your journey, and you hold that compass, being patient when things are slow. Have you ever felt like time is moving too slowly, or wished something would just happen already, right now? It's a common feeling, isn't it? We live in a fast world, where everything seems instant. But here's the thing, some of the deepest, most important things in life, and in building lasting success, take a long time. People who achieve great things often understand this truth deep down. It's about knowing that real growth isn't usually a sudden burst. It's more like the slow, quiet work of nature. Thinkers from ancient times knew this well. They watched how rivers carve vast canyons, not in a day, but over thousands of years. They saw how seasons change, gently fading from one to the next. It's about understanding that big results need consistent, quiet efforts over a long stretch of time. It's like planting a tiny seed and trusting it will grow into a mighty tree. Even if you can't see changes every single hour, consider learning to play a musical instrument, like the guitar. When you first start, your fingers feel clumsy. The chords sound terrible. You practice for days, weeks, maybe even months, and it can feel like you're not getting any better. It's slow, often frustrating. But if you keep showing up, even for just a little while each day, something amazing happens. Your muscles remember, your mind connects, and one day, you can play that song you always dreamed of. The beauty isn't just in the song, but in the patient, steady journey of learning it. This kind of patience isn't just about waiting around. It's an active kind of hope. It's about trusting the process and understanding that true value often builds in the quiet moments, in the slow unfolding. When we accept that important things take time, we actually gain a sense of peace. We learn to appreciate the journey itself, not just rush to the finish line. And that's a deep kind of wisdom, one that allows great things to truly take root and grow strong, like those silent, powerful roots of a very old tree. Always having a backup plan. Have you ever had a moment when everything suddenly went wrong? Like your project file vanished, or the weather completely changed your outdoor plans? That feeling of being unprepared, it's a heavy one, isn't it? Here's the thing about people who think differently, especially those who often find success. They almost always have a backup plan. It's not about expecting bad things, but knowing life is full of surprises. It's about being ready for whatever twists come your way. It's like carrying an umbrella even when the sky is clear, just in case. Think about ancient thinkers. They believed that while you can't control what happens, you can control how you react. Having a backup plan is a way of taking some of that control back. It's a quiet promise to yourself. No matter what, I'll find a way. Imagine you're building a tower with blocks. You have all the pieces you think you'll need, but what if one block breaks? If you only have the exact blocks you planned for, your tower might fall. But if you have extra blocks, or a second idea, you can keep going. You can adjust. It's the same in life. If your main plan for a school presentation falls through, maybe the computer crashes, what's your second plan? Do you have your notes on paper? This way of thinking isn't about fear, it's about peace. It's about building quiet confidence inside you. When you know you have options, when you've thought ahead, the bumps in the road feel a little less jarring. It allows you to move forward with a calmer heart, knowing that even if the first path closes, another one will open because you thought about it. And that's why it matters. Finding joy in simple things, too. Have you ever wondered if really rich people only get happy from huge, expensive things, like private jets or fancy mansions? It's easy to think that, but here's a curious truth. Many who have a lot of money also deeply appreciate the smallest, most ordinary moments. This isn't about pretending to be poor or needing to simplify their lives. It's about a different kind of richness inside. It's about finding deep joy in what's already around them, things that cost nothing at all. Think about it like this. A truly wise person, long ago, named Epicurus, believed that happiness wasn't about endless parties or massive wealth. He taught that real peace came from simple pleasures, like good conversation with friends, or enjoying plain bread and water. When hungry, he meant that finding calm and contentment in the basics can be just as powerful, maybe even more so, than chasing grand experiences. Imagine you're walking outside after a warm rain. The air smells fresh and clean. You notice how the leaves on the trees sparkle with tiny drops, catching the light like a million tiny diamonds. Or perhaps you feel the soft, cozy weight of your favorite blanket on a chilly morning, just before you have to get up. These moments, small and fleeting, don't require money. They require attention. They require you to simply be there and notice. The amazing thing is, your brain feels just as good experiencing these small wonders as it might feel winning a big award. When you notice something beautiful, even tiny, your brain releases good chemicals, like a little burst of sunshine. So, the joy isn't in the object itself, but in your ability to really see and feel it. And that ability, that freedom to find peace and wonder in the everyday, is a treasure no amount of money can truly buy or replace. It's a quiet strength, a way of being truly present in the world, no matter what your bank account looks like. Speaking your truth clearly. Have you ever felt like you had something important to say, but the words just wouldn't come out right? Like your thoughts were clear in your head, but they got tangled on the way to your tongue. Speaking your truth clearly isn't about being loud or always getting your way. It's about finding the right words, with a calm heart, to share what you truly think and feel. It's about being understood, so others can really hear the true message inside you. Don't think about ancient times. Philosophers in old Greece believed that true wisdom wasn't just about having smart ideas. It was about sharing them so others could understand. If your thoughts were muddy, your words unclear, your ideas would never grow. They knew that clear language was like a solid foundation for building understanding, making sure everyone was on the same page. Imagine you're trying to explain a cool new game to a friend. If you mumble details or jump around, they won't get it. But if you take a breath, use simple words, and explain it step by step, they'll understand. It's like tuning a radio to the clearest station. Your message comes through without static. Successful people often master this. They don't just have big ideas, they can explain them clearly for everyone to grasp. They use words like carefully chosen tools. This skill builds trust and shows leadership, helping others believe in their vision. Here's the thing. Learning to speak your truth clearly helps you in many ways. It builds stronger friendships because people know where they stand with you. It helps you stand up for yourself and your beliefs, often without big arguments. It lets your true self shine through. When you speak your truth clearly, it's a quiet superpower. It connects your inner world to the outer world, making everything more honest, more understandable, and powerful. Not giving up easily. Have you ever faced something so challenging that your first thought was to just walk away? Maybe a tough math problem, a stubborn knot, or a skill that felt impossible to learn, like playing a new song on an instrument. For many, that intense frustration is a clear signal to stop. But here's the thing about people who build great things, or who simply live rich, meaningful lives. They often see that feeling differently. They see it not as a dead end, but as a sign they're approaching something important, something worth pushing through. It's not that these people never feel discouraged. They do. They experience doubt and weariness just like anyone else. But they understand that true progress and understanding often hide just beyond the point where most people quit. Think about the old stories, not just of famous heroes, but of everyday folks. Farmers kept planting seeds after floods. Ancient builders rebuilt fallen structures brick by brick, again and again. History is filled with these quiet acts of persistence, the kind that whispers, just one more try, even when everything screams to stop. This quiet resolve allows real change to happen. Consider a simple seed buried in the dark earth. It's under layers of soil, facing all kinds of resistance, packed dirt, hidden stones. It doesn't give up because it hits a rock. It doesn't decide it's too hard to push through. Instead, it slowly, patiently, finds its way around obstacles, sending out tiny roots and shoots, reaching for the sunlight it cannot yet see. Its entire existence is a silent, powerful lesson in not giving up, in trusting a future it can only sense. This tiny act of quiet endurance transforms darkness into life, solid ground into something beautiful and thriving. So, when things get hard, and they surely will, remember the seed. Remember that quiet strength isn't about never falling, but about rising again, softly, surely, with a new understanding of the ground beneath you. It's about letting the struggle shape you, not break you. And in that gentle, persistent push forward, you find not just success, but a deeper, truer sense of who you are and what you can become. It's a kind of deep wisdom, born from the simple, brave act of staying. Finding ways to help the world. Have you truly thought about what it means to help the world? It's often more than just giving money. For many wealthy individuals, it's about seeing a problem and then asking, how can I fix this? Not just for today, but for good. Here's the thing. While some use money for personal luxury, others see it as a powerful tool. They look at big challenges like sickness or protecting our planet, and instead of feeling sad, they get curious. They ask, what new idea can we invest in? How can we make a lasting difference? This mindset creates a better world. This idea isn't new. Ancient Roman philosopher Seneca believed true wealth came from using what you had to benefit others. He taught that a good life included giving back. History shows this pattern. People like Andrew Carnegie or Bill and Melinda Gates used their wealth for education, health, and science, solving major problems for millions. Think of a tiny seed. Given soil and water, it grows into a giant tree. It provides shade, oxygen, and homes for birds. That tree shares its gifts, benefiting everything around it. Likewise, a person with a helping mindset sees their resources as something to grow and share, helping others. So, it's not always about tons of money. It's about how you look at the world. Real fulfillment comes from using what you have, your time, talents, or curiosity, to lift others up. When you help make the world better, you're not just giving, you're growing something beautiful inside yourself. And that's why it matters. Making decisions with your head and heart. Have you ever faced a big choice where your brain pulled you one way, but your gut feeling whispered something else? This is common. It's like your logical head and your intuitive heart are trying to find common ground. Your head uses facts and clear thinking. It weighs pros and cons to find the smartest path. It helps with practical plans and step-by-step thinking, focusing on real outcomes. Your heart isn't just about feelings. It means your intuition, your core values, what truly matters. It's that quiet nudge telling you something feels right, even if not logical. It's the inner pull towards fairness, kindness, or real joy. For a long time, people have wondered about reason versus emotion. Many successful people learn the best decisions come from listening to both. They don't ignore feelings to be logical or let emotions take over without thinking. They seek a powerful balance. Imagine choosing a summer camp. Your head might say, pick the coding camp, good for the future. But your heart might whisper, go to the art camp. It feels exciting. The art choice might not seem smart on paper, but it could bring deeper happiness. The real skill isn't picking one side. It's letting your head and heart work together. Your head gives you the map, showing possibilities. Your heart gives the compass, guiding you toward what truly fits who you are. When combined, your choices become not just clever, but deeply meaningful. This leads to a richer life, full of purpose. Learning from history, not repeating it. Ever wondered why some people seem to make really smart choices? It's often not magic. It comes from a deep understanding of history. This isn't just about dates. It's about seeing the past as a powerful teacher. Wise people, including many rich ones, view history like a map. This map shows where others succeeded or failed, and the patterns that led there. Human nature, how people think and react, often stays similar over time. So, if something happened in the past due to certain actions, a similar situation might happen again. Think of it like this. Imagine building a tall tower with blocks. If it crashes because you put the heaviest blocks on top, you learn. You don't repeat that mistake. You learn about balance and structure. That first crash is your history. You see what went wrong, understand why, and use that knowledge to build a stronger tower next time. It's the same with life. If past businesses failed because they ignored new ideas, smart people today pay attention to what's new. If past money choices led to big problems, wise thinkers look for different paths. It means being curious enough to look back, humble enough to learn from mistakes, even ones not your own, and smart enough to apply those lessons. The goal isn't just to remember, but to truly understand. This helps us build something better, for ourselves and for the world. It's how we gain wisdom from those who came before us. Building bridges, not walls. What if the way we think about the world changes how we connect with it? Some people seem to naturally reach out, to find common ground. This isn't just a friendly trait. It's a way of thinking that often leads to a richer life, not just with money, but in all ways. Here's the thing. People who think differently often choose to build bridges, not walls. Walls keep things separate. They hold you in, and they keep others out. They stop new ideas from getting to you, and they can make you feel alone. But bridges invite connection. They link to different places, allowing people, thoughts, and ideas to move freely between them. They're about understanding, about finding ways to work together, even if you start from different points. Ancient wisdom quietly tells us this truth: humans have always done better when they work together. Think about early communities. A family couldn't survive alone for long. They needed to trade with other families, share knowledge, and help each other when times were tough. Their very survival depended on building connections to the people around them, not shutting themselves off. This wasn't just a nice idea. It was how life continued. Consider this in your own life. Imagine you're trying to solve a tough problem in a school project. If everyone in your group just argues their own idea and won't listen, that's like building little walls between you all. Nothing gets done. But when you listen to each other, try to understand different viewpoints, and find a way to combine ideas, you're building a bridge. You're connecting your thoughts to create something better together. That openness makes the whole group stronger. So, a truly rich way of living involves choosing openness. It's about being curious enough to step onto that bridge, to meet someone halfway, to learn from a different perspective. When we focus on building these connections, our world expands. We let in new learning, surprising friendships, and unexpected opportunities. It makes the world feel more hopeful, and you become part of something much bigger and stronger than yourself. Celebrating small victories. Do you ever feel like you're just waiting for something big to happen? Like for a huge win or a major success, before you can truly feel proud? It's a common feeling. But here's the thing. Many people who achieve great things, people often called rich, in spirit or in wealth, think differently. They understand the quiet power of celebrating the small victories along the way. What does that even mean? It means noticing and appreciating every tiny step forward. It's not about ignoring the big goal. It's about finding strength in the journey itself. Think of it like this. Ancient wisdom, stretching back thousands of years, often teaches us to value the present moment, to find beauty and purpose in our daily actions. Philosophers and wise leaders throughout history have talked about how life isn't just a destination. It's a collection of moments. Each moment, each small effort holds its own value. Consider a spider spinning its web. It doesn't just wake up one day with a perfect, finished web. No, it starts with a single strand, then another, then carefully connects them. Each successful connection, each anchored thread, is a small victory. The spider doesn't wait until the entire intricate web is done to feel like it's accomplishing something. It keeps going because those tiny wins build confidence. Each completed section makes the next part possible. For us, it could be understanding one new math concept, writing one strong paragraph, or even just sticking to a new habit for a single day. Each little win sends a signal to your brain. Hey, you're doing it. You're making progress. And that's why it matters so much. These small celebrations aren't just feel-good moments. They are the quiet fuel that keeps you going. They build a deep, steady belief in yourself, brick by brick. They show you that progress is real, even when it's slow. By valuing the small, steady steps, you learn to trust the process, and you discover the quiet magic of simply moving forward, one breath, one effort, one small victory at a time. Understanding the cost of inaction. Have you ever wondered what happens when you do nothing? Not just when you're resting, but when you could act, and you choose not to. It's easy to think that doing nothing has no real consequence, but often, the biggest costs aren't from making a mistake, but from simply standing still. Think about it like this. Ancient thinkers, centuries ago, understood this idea. They didn't have cell phones or the internet, but they watched how nature worked. They saw how a garden, if left alone, would soon be taken over by weeds. The garden didn't get ruined by a storm, or a bad choice of plants. It simply suffered from the lack of a gardener's care. That's the quiet power of inaction. Here's a simple way to see it. Imagine your school project. You have weeks to work on it, but you keep putting it off. Each day you do nothing. The project doesn't just stay the same. It quietly gets harder. The pile of work grows bigger. Your stress grows. You lose the chance to ask your teacher questions early on. You might miss out on feedback that could make your project amazing. The cost isn't doing the project wrong. It's all the good things you miss by not starting. It's the lost time, the lost learning, the lost opportunity to feel proud of steady effort. So, here's the thing. Sometimes, the path we don't take, or the action we don't begin, leaves a bigger mark than any path we choose to walk. It's about recognizing that time moves forward, and with it, opportunities change. What seems like a small decision to do nothing today can ripple out, shaping your tomorrow in ways you might not expect. The truly rich understand that doing nothing is a choice, and that choice always has a price. And that's why it matters to think about what you're letting slip away. Investing in knowledge. Always. Have you ever wondered what the truly rich invest in, beyond companies or fancy cars? It's not just about money growing. For many, the deepest investment isn't in things you can touch, but in something invisible. Knowledge. They understand that what you put into your mind, the ideas you explore, the skills you learn, that's what truly expands. Don't think about it. Long ago, thinkers like the ancient Greeks, even before coins were common, spoke of wisdom as the highest form of wealth. They believed that understanding the world, and yourself, was far more valuable than gold that could be lost or stolen. And here's why that matters. That understanding, once gained, stays with you. It's like planting a tiny seed. You can't see what's happening right away, but with time and care, that seed becomes a strong tree, reaching high, offering shade and fruit. Every book you read, every question you ask, every new idea you try to grasp, is like adding water and sunlight to that seed inside you. It might feel slow, like nothing is changing on the surface, but that knowledge, those quiet insights, they are silently, steadily growing roots and branches within your mind. And here's the thing, once you've learned something, truly understood it, no one can take that away from you. It's yours forever. Unlike money that can be spent or lost, knowledge builds on itself. One idea connects to another, making you see the world in new, clearer ways. So, when people who are truly wealthy invest deeply in learning, in reading, in always being curious, they're not just getting smarter, they are becoming richer in a way that truly matters, in understanding, in capability, in the quiet, unshakable wealth of an informed mind. It's a treasure you carry always, a light that guides your path, no matter what happens around you. Seeing time as an ally. Have you ever felt like time is always rushing you? Like there's never enough of it? Most of us feel that way sometimes. But here's the thing. People who create a lot of wealth, or simply live really meaningful lives, often see time in a totally different way. They don't see it as an enemy, but as a quiet friend, an ally. They understand that some of the best things in life take a long time to grow. Think about the ancient philosophers. They didn't just talk about chronos, which is like our clock time, seconds and minutes. They also thought about kairos, which means the right moment, the perfect time for something to happen. It's about patience, knowing when to plant a seed, and then waiting, letting nature do its work. Consider a tiny acorn. If you rush it, if you dig it up every day to see if it's growing, it will never become a mighty oak tree. Instead, you plant it, give it water and light, and then you wait. Time works its magic. Slowly, steadily, that acorn pushes roots down and a tiny sprout up. Years pass, decades, and one day you have a huge, strong tree that provides shade and shelter. Time didn't take anything away. It built something incredible, and that's how some people approach their goals and their lives. They don't expect instant results. They plant their ideas, their efforts, and then they trust in the slow, steady power of time. It's like building trust with a good friend. It doesn't happen in one conversation. It builds over many shared moments. When you see time as a helper, not a harrier, a deep calm settles in. You realize that great things aren't rushed. They are grown, with patience, and with time as your most faithful partner. Being grateful for every step. Have you ever stopped to really think about how we rush through life? We often fix our eyes on a big finish line, right? Like getting an A on a test, winning a game, or finally reaching a goal. But what if the true treasure isn't just the finish line, but every single step along the way? Here's the thing. Many successful people, those who seem to build amazing things, often share a quiet secret. They practice a deep sense of gratitude for the journey itself. It's not just about celebrating the victory. It's about appreciating the effort, the learning, and even the stumbles. They see value in the tiny improvements, the small lessons, the slow, steady progress. Think about it like this. Ancient thinkers, people like the Stoics, often talked about finding peace and joy in what you have right now, not waiting for something big to happen. It's like saying, this moment, right here, is important. This isn't just some old idea. It's a powerful way to live. Imagine you're learning to play the guitar. At first, it's just buzzing strings and clumsy fingers. You might wish you could instantly play a perfect song, but a truly grateful mindset helps you appreciate the sore fingertips, the tiny bit you improved yesterday, the new chord you finally nailed today. You learn to love the process of getting better. You understand that each practice session, no matter how small, is a step forward. You're grateful for the time you spend learning, not just for the dream of being a rock star. And here's why. That matters. When you're grateful for every step, you find joy more often. You stop waiting for happiness to arrive in the future. Instead, you discover it in the present moment, in the effort, in the learning. It's a calm feeling of peace, knowing that every part of your journey has value. It helps you see life not as a race to win, but as a rich, beautiful path to walk, one careful step at a time. Not comparing your journey to others. Have you ever looked at someone else's life and felt like you were falling behind? It's easy to do, especially today. We see quick successes on social media, perfect lives, and shiny new things. But rich people, the ones who truly build lasting success, often learn to stop this. They understand that their path is just that. Theirs. Think about ancient wisdom. Even way back, philosophers like the Stoics talked about focusing only on what you can control. Your journey, your effort, your choices, these are yours. Other people's achievements, not really something you can control, and not a measure of your own worth. It's like comparing an apple to an orange. Both are fruits, but they grow differently and taste different. Imagine a forest. Every tree in that forest is trying to grow. Some trees shoot up fast, tall and straight, reaching for the sun. Others grow slower, maybe twisting a bit, finding their own unique shape around rocks or other trees. Does the slow-growing oak compare itself to the fast-growing pine? No, it just keeps growing, steadily, putting down deeper roots. Each tree has its own soil, its own light, its own challenges. Your life is like that forest. Your soil might be different, your sunlight might be different. Your challenges are unique to you, so your growth will be unique too. Here's the thing. When you compare yourself, you're not just comparing outcomes. You're comparing different starts, different struggles, different inner worlds. It steals your joy and makes you doubt your own amazing journey. The rich, in their quiet wisdom, often focus on their own growth, their own improvements, their own next steps. They understand that true wealth isn't about having more than someone else. It's about building a life that is authentically yours, at your own pace. So, let go of the measuring tape. Just grow. Getting back up when you fall. Have you ever tripped on something? Maybe just stumbled. Or maybe you felt like you just totally failed at something important. We all have those moments, don't we? Life is full of bumps, of times when things don't go as planned, when you fall. And here's the thing. It's not really about if you fall, because you will. Everyone does. The real difference, the quiet strength, is learning how to get back up. Think about it. For centuries, wise people have talked about this across different cultures. The ancient Stoics, for example, believed that challenges weren't bad luck, but chances to grow stronger. They didn't say, don't fall. They said, when you fall, see it as practice for standing tall again. It's an old wisdom, really, that what bends does not break, and what breaks can often be put back together even stronger. Consider a baby learning to walk. They wobble, they lose their balance, and plop down they go. They might even cry a little, but what do they do next? They don't just stay there. They push up, they grab onto something, and they try again. They fall hundreds of times, maybe thousands, but each fall is just another lesson in balance, another step closer to running free. They don't label it failure. It's just part of the process, and that's why this matters. People who achieve great things, who build incredible lives, aren't immune to falling. In fact, many have stumbled, lost, and failed more times than most, but their minds are tuned differently. They see each fall not as an ending, but as a silent teacher, showing them a new way, a different path. It's about that quiet, stubborn spirit inside you that whispers, just one more try. It's knowing that the true power isn't in never falling, but in always choosing to rise. Thinking about how you can add value, have you ever thought about what it truly means to give something? Not just a gift, but something more. Rich people often think deeply about how they can add value, not just take it. It's a quiet understanding that the world works best when everyone brings something good to the table. Imagine a gardener. They don't just pick flowers. They nourish the soil, plant the seeds, and tend to the garden so it can bloom year after year. That's adding value. It's about making things better for others, for a situation, or even for the future. This idea isn't new. Ancient thinkers, like those in Greece, spoke of virtue living a life that benefits the community. It wasn't just about being good yourself, but about making the world around you better. They understood that real strength comes from what you contribute, not just what you gain. It's a very old and powerful idea that we find purpose in helping things grow. Think about a beehive. Each bee adds value in its own way. One gathers nectar, another builds the comb, others protect the queen. They aren't asking what's in it, for me, constantly. Instead, they just do their part, and in doing so, the whole colony thrives. And that's why it matters. When you add your unique value, the whole world around you, your colony, gets stronger. Maybe you add value by helping a friend understand a tough math problem, making them feel less alone. Or you might add value by simply listening when someone needs to talk, offering a quiet, safe space. Even picking up a piece of trash you see on the ground, that's adding value. You're leaving a small part of the world better than you found it. It's not about big, grand gestures every time. It's often in the small, everyday choices. It's a quiet whisper that says, I can help here, I can make a difference. When you think about adding value, you start to see the world not as something to just take from, but as a place where your unique light can shine, making everything a little brighter. It fills your own heart too, with a gentle sense of purpose, believing in yourself. Even when alone, have you ever had an idea, a feeling, or a dream so strong that it felt like it lived only inside you? Like nobody else quite got it. Here's the thing. Many people who create amazing things, or build great futures, often start in this quiet, solitary place. They believe in their path, even when the crowd walks in another direction. This isn't about being lonely, but about inner strength. It's about trusting your own mind and heart, even when external support is missing. Think about ancient philosophers, like Socrates. He had beliefs that went against the popular ideas of his time. He chose to follow his own inner voice, even when it led to serious trouble. He knew what he believed was right, and that conviction stood firm, even when he stood alone. His thoughts, at first, were just his, but they sparked a whole new way of thinking for generations. So, how does this work in our daily lives? Imagine, you're working on a really tough science project. Maybe your friends are playing games, and they don't see why you're spending so much time on it. You might feel a little isolated, but you have a vision for your project, a deep curiosity driving you. You trust your own effort, your own understanding of the problem. That quiet, steady belief in yourself, in your own ability to figure things out, is powerful. It's like a deep, unseen root holding you steady through a storm. This kind of self-belief isn't loud or boastful. It's a deep, calm knowing. It's the quiet whisper inside that says, I can do this, and that's why it matters. It's a treasure. It allows you to build something real, something that lasts, because its foundation is truly yours. It's a quiet form of wealth that no one can ever take away. Creating a clear vision for your life. Have you ever stopped to really think about what you want your life to look like? Not just next week, but years from now. It's a big question. But here's the thing. Many successful people, including those who become rich, often start with a very clear picture of their future. It's not magic. It's simply knowing where you're headed. Imagine setting off on a journey without a map. You might wander, get lost, or end up somewhere unintended. A clear vision is like that map. It's a detailed dream, a mental image of your ideal life. It's not just a wish. It's a specific picture of your goals, your values, and who you want to become. It quietly guides your daily choices. Think about ancient builders. They didn't just pile stones. First, they had a blueprint. a complete vision of the final structure. Philosophers through history spoke about knowing yourself and setting your course. They believed a life without direction is like a ship without a rudder, easily swayed by stormy seas. Here's a simple way to think about it. A basketball player taking a shot doesn't just throw the ball. They visualize it going through the net, see it swish. That clear mental image helps them move just right. Or a scientist. They first envision the problem solved, then work backward from that clear outcome. So, what does this mean for you? It means taking time to dream. Truly dream about what truly matters. What kind of person do you want to be? What mark do you want to leave? When you have that clear vision, it becomes a quiet compass inside you. It gives your journey purpose, helping you see the path, even when it's foggy. It's a gentle reminder of the wonderful person you are becoming. Understanding that everything is a test. Have you ever felt like life is just one big pop quiz? Or maybe a video game level you can't quite beat? Here's a way many successful people think differently. They see almost everything as a test. Not a test to fail, but a chance to learn, to grow, to discover something new about yourself or the world. It's not about getting a good grade, it's about the process. When someone successful faces a problem, like a business deal falling through, they don't just feel defeated. They ask, what is this trying to teach me? What skill do I need? How can I do better next time? Every challenge becomes a puzzle, an opportunity for growth. Long ago, ancient wise people believed life's difficulties were meant to make us stronger. They taught we learn most not when things are easy, but when we face challenges. Like a young tree growing in strong winds. The wind doesn't break it. Instead, it makes roots go deeper. The trunk grows sturdier. That tree is being tested, becoming stronger. Think about learning a new skill, like playing an instrument. The first few times, it might not be perfect. You might hit a wrong note. Those moments aren't failures, they are little tests. Each time you pay attention, you figure out what went wrong. You adjust, because you see it as a test of your learning, not your worth. You keep going. You get better, until you're playing a song. So, imagine looking at your own life this way. Every homework assignment, every difficult conversation, every time you try something new, it's all a test. Not to judge you, but to help you grow. Every experience holds a lesson. If we pay attention, we become stronger, wiser, and more capable with each passing moment. It's a quiet, powerful way to move through the world. Learning to adapt quickly. Have you ever noticed how the world around us is always shifting? One day, things feel certain, and the next, everything changes. People who truly thrive, or build lasting success, understand this constant motion. They know that holding on to what was often means missing what could be. It's not about being loud or forceful. It's about being like a willow tree, bending gracefully with the wind, instead of breaking. This idea isn't new. Ancient Greek thinkers, like Heraclitus, spoke about how change is the only constant. He meant everything is always changing, like a river that's always flowing. It's a deep truth. Life asks us to be flexible, to let go of old ideas when new facts appear, and to try different ways when the first plan doesn't work. Here's a simple way to see it. Imagine building a tall tower with blocks. If a block breaks, or you run out of a certain piece, do you just stop? No. You look at what you have, you find a different piece, you change your plan. Maybe your tower looks different than you first imagined, but it still stands, perhaps even stronger or more interesting. That's adapting. It's about being creative with what's in front of you, not just sticking to your first idea. This quiet flexibility, this ability to adjust, is a powerful kind of wisdom. It's a way of moving through life that doesn't fight the unexpected, but gently finds a new path. And when you learn to do that, you find a surprising inner peace. You know that no matter what twists and turns come, you can always find your way forward. You're ready for whatever life brings, not with fear, but with quiet confidence to explore new possibilities. Finding strength in vulnerability. What if being strong wasn't about never showing fear? We often think strength means being tough all the time, never letting anyone see us sweat. But here's the thing. Sometimes, the bravest act is to simply let your guard down. It means showing your true self, even the parts that feel a bit unsure or scared. This isn't about falling apart. It's about being open. For a long time, people believed you had to hide your feelings to be powerful. Think about old stories, where heroes never showed fear or sadness. Many felt that emotions made you weak. But then, Some thinkers, even long ago, started to wonder. They saw how much energy it takes to hide everything inside, and how it truly keeps us from connecting with each other. So here's what happened. They found that when you dare to be vulnerable, when you share what's truly on your mind or in your heart, you actually grow stronger. Imagine you're working on a group project, and you really don't understand one part. It feels scary to say, "I'm confused." But if you bravely say, "Hey, can someone explain this bit again?" someone will likely help. Then you understand it better. Also, maybe someone else was confused but afraid to ask, and now they feel okay because you spoke up. This small act of being open makes the group stronger. It builds trust. So, when you let a bit of your true self show, even the unsure parts, it's not weakness, it's courage. It lets others see who you truly are. And that real connection, that honesty, it helps you grow. It helps you build a stronger life, one where you're not always trying to look perfect. This isn't just about money. It's about a different kind of rich, a richness of spirit and real connection, which can be even more valuable. Knowing when to rest and recharge. Ever feel totally wiped out? Not just sleepy, but like your whole self is just done. Like your brain has too many tabs open and your body feels heavy. Rich people often understand this deeply. They know that rest isn't just something you do when you're completely exhausted or only after you've finished everything. Instead, it's a key part of how they stay sharp, how they keep coming up with new ideas, and how they manage big responsibilities. It's about truly stepping back, letting your mind breathe, letting your body heal, and letting new thoughts form. Think about thinkers from a long, long time ago. Like the ancient Greeks, they had a special word, shol skole. It wasn't about being lazy or doing nothing. It was about having quiet time, a time for deep thought, for learning, for just being. They understood you couldn't be wise or truly creative if your mind was always racing, always on the go, without a moment to pause. It's a lot like your phone. You can use it all day, texting, gaming, watching videos, but eventually, that battery light turns red. If you keep pushing it, it just shuts down. To get it working again, you plug it in. You give it time to fully recharge, to fill up completely. Your brain and body are way more amazing than any phone, but they work in a similar way. They need that quiet time to process everything, to sort out the day's thoughts, to build up energy again for what's next. So, here's the thing. Real rest isn't a sign that you're weak or that you're falling behind. It's a smart decision. It means you truly value your own mind, your own energy, your own ideas. When you allow yourself to truly rest, you're not wasting time. You're actually preparing yourself to move forward, stronger and clearer than before. It's a quiet power, a gentle way to make sure your inner light keeps shining bright. Because when you're truly rested, your thoughts are clearer, your ideas flow more easily, and you can show up as your best self for whatever comes next. It's understanding that sometimes doing nothing is actually the most important thing you can do for yourself and for your journey. Seeking out new perspectives. Have you ever looked at something familiar, like a painting you've seen 100 times, and then suddenly noticed a tiny detail you'd never seen before? A hidden brushstroke, a shadow, a different light. It changes the whole feeling, doesn't it? That's what seeking out new perspectives is all about. It means actively looking for different ways to see the world, different ideas, even when you think you already know enough. Rich people, the kind who truly grow and build, often have a quiet strength. They don't just stick to their own thoughts. They ask others, they read things that challenge them, and they listen. They understand that their own view, however smart they are, is just one view. For thousands of years, wise thinkers have talked about this. They knew that true understanding comes not from having all the answers, but from being open to new questions. It's about not letting your mind become a closed room, but keeping the windows open, letting fresh air and new light in. Think about a small, clear drop of water. With your eye alone, it looks like nothing much, just water. But now, imagine placing that same drop under a powerful microscope. Suddenly, a whole unseen world springs to life. Tiny organisms swim and dance. Structures you couldn't imagine appear. The water hasn't changed, but your way of seeing it has completely transformed everything. You've uncovered a universe that was always there, waiting to be seen from a new angle. That's how new ideas and different viewpoints work for your mind. They let you see old challenges in a fresh light, turning what felt like a dead end into a wide open path. This quiet openness, this willingness to shift your gaze, is a powerful tool. It helps you understand others, solve problems in new ways, and simply makes your own world feel bigger and more full of possibilities. It's a gentle, deep way to grow, turning obstacles into opportunities. Have you ever felt like a big problem was blocking your path, like a huge rock in the middle of a road? It's a common feeling, right? Here's the thing. While most people might see that rock and feel completely stuck, some people, especially those who think differently, see it as something else entirely. They don't just see a problem, they see an opening. They see a chance to learn, to grow, to find a new way forward. It's like magic, but it's actually just a change in how you look at things. It's about finding the hidden chance in every challenge you face. Think about old stories, even from ancient times. Philosophers, people who spent their lives thinking deeply about life, often talked about this idea. They believed that what seems bad on the surface might actually be a gift in disguise. They taught that we can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we react to it. This way of thinking has shaped the minds of many successful people throughout history. It's not about wishing problems away, but about accepting them and then quietly asking, what can I build with this? Consider a tiny seed trying to grow into a strong tree. Sometimes that seed lands in hard ground, or a big rock is right in its way. Does it give up? No. Instead, its roots grow around the rock, sometimes even cracking it, using its very resistance to become stronger, to anchor deeper. Or think about how a diamond is formed. It's just carbon, but immense pressure and heat, extreme obstacles, transform it into something incredibly strong and beautiful. The obstacle itself becomes part of its making, not its end. So, the next time something tough shows up, don't just see the obstacle. Try to see the opportunity hiding within it. Feel that moment of challenge, and then ask yourself, what new path can I discover here? How can this make me stronger, smarter, or more creative? It's a quiet power. This way of thinking, it changes everything. Not just what you do, but who you become. And that's why it matters deeply. Building a strong personal brand. Have you ever stopped to think about how others see you? Not just what you look like, but the feeling you give off. It's like a quiet hum in a room, or the special way light touches something. That feeling, that unique mark you leave, is a lot like your personal brand. It's not about being famous or having lots of money. It's about who you are, deep down, and what you consistently show. For a long time, people have cared about their reputation. In ancient Greece, thinkers talked about character. They believed what you did and how you acted shaped how others saw you. It was about being trustworthy, being reliable, showing true goodness. That idea hasn't really changed. A personal brand is just a modern way to talk about your character. It's about your values and how you express them. Think of it as your own special signature, not just on paper, but on everything you do. Here's an example. Think about a tree in a forest. Every tree is unique. One might be tall and strong, giving great shade. Another might have bright, colorful leaves in fall. People know them for these qualities. Trees don't try to be other trees. They just grow into what they are meant to be, fed by strong roots. Your personal brand is like that tree. It grows from your deepest beliefs, your interests, and how you act daily. If you are kind, people see kindness. If you are curious, that curiosity truly shines. It's not about pretending. It's about building on what is true inside you. So, this idea of a personal brand isn't about being loud or flashy. It's about being real. It's about understanding what makes you, you. Then, it's about showing that in a steady, meaningful way. It means being a dependable presence, like the calm light of a lighthouse. When you build a strong personal brand, you build trust. You show up as yourself, honestly. You let your true self quietly glow. And that is a calm, powerful thing to share. Learning to listen deeply. Have you ever felt truly heard? Not just listened to, but understood. That deep kind of listening is a superpower for people who build great things. It's not just about waiting for your turn to speak. It's about creating quiet space inside yourself, letting go of your own thoughts for a moment, and truly opening up to what someone else is sharing. It's like tuning into a faint radio signal, catching every word. Think about ancient philosophers, like the wise old Greeks. They knew the power of asking questions and then really listening to the answers. Socrates, for example, didn't just lecture. He talked with people, paying close attention to their ideas, even if they were different from his own. He believed understanding started with truly hearing. It's a way of learning, not just about others, but about the world itself. Here's an example. Imagine your friend is telling you about a tough day they had at school. You could be thinking about your own homework or what you'll say next. But deep listening means you put all that aside. You notice their tone of voice, the way they slump their shoulders, the words they choose. You might even hear the feelings they don't say out loud. It's like being a detective for emotions, picking up subtle clues that help you see the whole picture. You're not just hearing words, you're hearing their heart. And here's the thing, when you really listen like this, you connect. You see things from another person's point of view. It makes you wiser, more patient, and more kind. It helps you understand problems better, not just for yourself, but for others too. This quiet act of deep listening builds trust and opens doors you never knew were there. It's a quiet strength, a way to truly see the world beyond just your own eyes. It's how you learn to build bridges instead of walls, one thoughtful silence at a time. Not being afraid to ask for help. Do you ever feel like asking for help means you're not smart or strong enough? Like it shows a weakness inside you? But here's the thing, truly successful people, the ones who build big things or create new ideas, often do the opposite. They see asking for help as a superpower, a secret tool to go further, faster. Think about it. Long ago, humans survived by helping each other. One person couldn't hunt a mammoth alone. They needed a group, a tribe, working together to live. Philosophers, like Aristotle, from ancient Greece, understood this. He believed we are social animals, meant to live and work together. No great city was built by just one person. No big discovery happened alone. It's like building a complicated Lego castle. You might have the instructions, and you can try to do it alone. But maybe your friend sees a tricky part differently, or your sibling finds that tiny, missing piece. Or imagine learning a tough new move in a sport, like skateboarding or a complex dance. The best athletes and dancers work with coaches, watch others, and ask for tips. They don't try to figure out everything alone, hidden away. Asking for help isn't admitting defeat, it's an act of quiet courage. It's saying, I want to be better, and I can learn from others. It opens doors to new ideas, deeper understanding, and stronger connections. It lets you go further, faster, and with more joy than if you tried to carry every burden alone. It's a quiet strength, like knowing the wind can carry your sail further than your oars alone. Understanding that money follows value. Have you ever stopped to wonder why some things are worth so much, and others very little? It's a quiet question, right? Many people think money just appears, or it's about luck. But if we look closely, money is an echo. It's how the world shows appreciation for the value you create. Money isn't just paper, it's a symbol. It represents how much someone else wants what you offer. Long ago, before money, people traded. A farmer with corn might swap it for wool. From a shepherd, corn was valuable to the shepherd. Wool was precious to the farmer. Both created things others needed, so they exchanged. Money became a smoother way to trade, a common language for value. So, when someone becomes rich, it often means they've found a way to create something useful or helpful for many people. Imagine a baker crafting the most delicious chocolate chip cookies you've ever tasted. These cookies aren't just ingredients. They bring a moment of joy, a burst of happiness. People willingly pay for these cookies, even waiting in line, because of the delight they receive. The money the baker earns isn't just for flour. It's a quiet thanks for the happiness they spread. It's not about chasing numbers. It's about focusing on what you can offer that helps others, solves a problem, or brightens someone's day. When you give your best, creating real worth for the world, then money appears. It's not the goal, but a calm confirmation of the good you've done. It's a gentle reminder that when you contribute meaningfully, the world sends value back to you. Building relationships that last. What truly makes a connection last, not just for a moment, but through all the seasons of life. It's a question rich people, the truly wise ones, seem to understand deeply. They often see relationships not as quick deals or steps on a ladder, but as something much more precious, like growing a garden. Think back to ancient times. Even philosophers like Aristotle wondered about friendship. He talked about different kinds. Some friends are just for fun, or maybe because they can help you with something. But the deepest friendships, he said, are built on shared goodness and truly valuing the other person for who they are, not just what they can do for you. That's a powerful idea. It means looking past the surface. Here's the thing. Building a strong, lasting relationship is a lot like how a scientist might grow crystals. You don't rush it. You need the right ingredients: trust, honesty, kindness, and then you let it grow slowly, layer by tiny layer. Each conversation, each shared laugh, each time you show up for someone, it's like adding another perfect molecule to that crystal. It needs consistent care, like checking on an experiment every day. And if you try to force it, or take shortcuts, the crystal won't be strong. It might even fall apart. So, the truly lasting connections aren't about what you can get. They are about what you give. It is about listening, truly listening, and showing up for people, even when it is hard. This kind of relationship builds a quiet strength in your life. It's a treasure that doesn't fade, a constant source of support and joy. These connections are the real wealth, the kind that fills your heart long after anything else might be gone. They are the roots that hold you steady in the wind.
Making decisions based on principles. Have you ever wondered what truly guides us when we make a big decision? It's like standing at a crossroads, with many paths stretching out. For many wealthy individuals, their choices aren't just about what feels good in the moment, or what might make the most money. Instead, they often decide based on deep, unchanging ideas called principles. Think of principles as your own personal set of rules, deep beliefs that shape who you are. They are like an inner compass, always pointing you in a true direction. If one of your principles is honesty, then every choice you make, big or small, will try to align with telling the truth, even if it's hard. It's not about following a strict law from outside. It's about listening to the quiet, strong voice of your own values. For hundreds of years, wise thinkers have spoken about living this way. Ancient philosophers, for example, believed a good life wasn't just about luck or money. It was about living by virtues like courage, wisdom, and fairness. They saw principles as a way to build inner strength, no matter what happened around them. This is how it works. Imagine a tall tree standing firm in a strong wind. Its branches might sway, and its leaves might rustle wildly. But the tree itself doesn't fall. Why? Because its roots are deep and strong, holding it steady. Your principles are like those roots. When life throws challenges at you, or when a tough choice comes along, those deep-seated beliefs keep you stable. They help you remember what truly matters to you, even when other paths look easier or more tempting. So, when we choose based on these core ideas, we aren't just picking an option. We're building a life that feels honest and true to ourselves. It's a quiet way of living with integrity, creating a sense of peace that doesn't depend on what we own, but on how we choose to be. Seeing life as a grand adventure. Have you ever looked at your life and wondered what story you're really telling? What if every single day wasn't just a routine, but a new chapter in a grand adventure? This is how many people who achieve great things, including those with much wealth, tend to see their journey. They don't just go through life, they explore it. For them, challenges aren't brick walls. They're like tricky puzzles or hidden paths on a map. Instead of getting stuck or giving up, they feel a pull to figure things out, to see what's on the other side. Think about ancient explorers, sailing into unknown waters. They weren't just looking for land, they were seeking discovery itself. Or consider old philosophers who believed that learning and growing were life's biggest treasures. They taught that the path you walk is more important than the finish line. Here's the thing. This way of thinking isn't about ignoring problems. It's about seeing every problem as part of the plot. Imagine playing a brand new video game. You don't get upset
appears, right? That's the exciting part. You strategize, you learn, you try again. You know that beating the boss is how you move forward and discover more of the world. Life, for some, is just like that game. Every twist, every turn, every hard level is part of the fun. So, maybe life isn't about avoiding the storms. Maybe it's about learning to sail through them, enjoying the wind on your face, and wondering what new island you'll find next. It's about being curious, not just comfortable. It's about the wonder of what's around the corner, and finding joy in the simple act of moving forward. You're always striving for something more. Have you ever finished a big project, like finally acing a tough test or helping your team win a game, and felt that rush of accomplishment? It's a great feeling, right? But then, after a day or two, you might notice a quiet pull. You begin to wonder, what's next? What else can I learn or do? This isn't just about getting more stuff, it's a deeper kind of longing, a quiet whisper inside you. It's about growing, changing, and discovering what else you can become. Here's the thing. Many people who become very successful often carry this feeling. They don't just reach a goal and stop. Instead, they see that success as a stepping stone. They might build a thriving business, but then they think about how to make it even better, how to serve more people, or how to tackle a whole new challenge. It's like what the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle suggested. He believed humans have a natural urge to reach their full potential, to become the best versions of themselves. It's a continuous journey, not a final stop. Think about a sunflower. It grows from a tiny seed, always turning towards the sun, stretching, reaching for more light and warmth. It doesn't stop once it has leaves. It keeps growing, even pushing through tough ground. Or consider a scientist who discovers something amazing. They don't usually just celebrate and retire. No, that discovery often sparks 100 new questions, and they feel an eager pull to explore those too. It's a bit like that for people who achieve a lot. They find deep joy not just in what they've accomplished, but in what they are creating or understanding next. So, this idea of always striving isn't about being greedy or never being satisfied. It's about a quiet search for meaning, for making a difference, for gently pushing the edges of what feels possible. It's about understanding that life is a continuous path of becoming. And perhaps, deep down, we all carry a little bit of that stretching sunflower inside us, yearning for more light, more growth, more purpose in our own unique way. It's a gentle hum, a quiet invitation to keep moving forward.